I mean, that is a way to start off the
press
stream.
the soundboard button.
I
Excellent.
can burp on command. It's my.
Oh yeah, I can.
Is that your crappy X-Men power? Is burping on command?
No,
Oh.
I can burp on command, and I also can make a terrible anime voice, and those are my cursed.
My
superpowers.
crappy
Oh, I
my
remember
crappy
that.
on command X-Man ability is being able to bend my fingers back to touch the back of my hand because I'm double jointed.
I thought that
See,
was
mine is
eating
similar.
wasps.
Wait, what?
What?
Come again?
Hold on, what?
Mind. Never mind.
No,
Please,
Oh,
say
God.
Zeno, that was for you, buddy.
Oh, I know that was
No.
for me, but you're also confusing the man for the Sona, apparently.
Oh, look, in my heart, you are a possum. I don't know what to tell you.
In every way except physical.
It's every way except physical.
We could fix that. There are people that have a way.
this.
Every
Is not
way, including fiscal.
Bosco, if this was
Whoa.
Gene Punk and I could be like in Batman Beyond, then I would have fucking done that years ago.
I was gonna say, right? You remember Batman Beyond?
I fucking
I
love that show.
Batman
It was a
Beyond.
great show. It's fantastic. I love old crotchety Batman.
Right? Give me angry, upset Bruce Wayne any day.
Isn't that just Bruce Wayne's default?
I mean, I'll
Oh,
take it
no,
over
no,
Damian
no,
Wayne
he has
any
to be
day.
Old. He has to be
Jaded-
old and angry.
Welcome into the
Jaded,
DC
curmudgeon
Comics
Bruce.
discussion, guys. We appreciate you popping in.
On that note, Superman is the worst superhero ever created. You
Hard
can't change my mind.
agree.
Tired
What
of
era?
Alien Boy Scout.
So here's what I will. Here's what I will say.
I will say the more recent Superman makes him a himbo, which kind of makes him a bit more enjoyable.
So here's what I will say.
I would say that.
I am.
Yes, change the character entirely, and he's better. Exactly.
Well, no, hold on. I say this as somebody who also does not like Superman at all, and have talked to people that understand more of his history. From what I understand, in terms of a character, Superman just in general is very hard to write because of the way he is constructed. It can be so perfect. But if you look at the way that he was depicted in the animated series in the 90s, specifically when he fights Darkseid and he talks about being in a world of like paper, I think that's a really interesting way to handle Superman. So I think there's a way to write him so that he's interesting. But I will agree
just
with the
no one
majority that
knows how
he
to
is
do it.
not.
Wait.
He is not interesting
Superman.
to me.
Superman is supposed to be a flat art character who inspires other people to be better. You know who writes that better? Paddington. End note.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I've had this talk with
Superman
Zan.
is Superman.
Yeah.
All right, so epic death battles. Superman versus Paddington.
I mean, I'm here for it.
Paddington.
But
Are you talking
the
about
real
bear?
reason why we're here is because
Paddington
we.
Bear, yes.
Yeah.
Oh God.
He's a much better
Zan
Superman.
could literally teach a class
Hero,
on this.
Paddington Bear.
Yeah. This is
Superman
this is
versus
special.
Paddington Bear. Make it happen, Death Battle. I know people who work on it.
I mean, Paddington wins. He can hold kryptonite.
He also can eat a marmalade sandwich, which isn't really a superpower, but it's cool.
He survived the washing machine.
It's true. So, welcome into the Q&A, everybody. We are joined by the entire normal cast, minus Connor, who is off today. So, we're going to try to get to as many questions as possible, do quick introductions, just going down the list, starting with Gaijin Goomba. What have you been up to?
Oh man, twitch.tv/Gaijin Goomba. Tried playing Mech Warrior 5 and wanted to tear my hair out because the game's buggy as hell. But hey, this weekend, because everyone's going to, but mechs are fun. Armored Core 6, Fires Rubicon, we are all in on it. I'm just gonna say that. I wanted to say thank you for everyone who's been checking out Gear Guts using my code and link, because we're making some headway. There's going to be some funny war bosses that are going to get put together, but don't hold back, because apparently 120 millimeter base big boys coming around the corner, so it'd be good stuff. And speaking of, this Friday, tomorrow for patrons, but Friday for everyone else, new video is going to be out. Because everybody liked that last video I put out on Stupid Orcs so much, I'm doing something different. I'm talking about how Oda Nobunaga is not only the perfect origin of OC character, but was probably the most orky warlord there was in that country. It sounds really stupid, but I
You
promise
have my
it's good.
attention, Gaijin.
Really?
Knock, knock.
Nobunaga
Who is it?
Oda
It's
is a really
Ieyamatsu.
interesting.
He'd like to have a chat.
In terms of historical Japanese figures from that period of feudal Japan, I actually really enjoy his story and the way that he has been interpreted in various video games and
Well,
history.
it's going to be interesting because I'm going to tear all that apart because I'm actually defending him.
No, listen, I'm curious for a perspective that I haven't heard yet. So you
Yeah.
have my attention.
So it's
By turning him into a green man. I love it.
He's also very large and covered in guns, and it all
Yeah.
makes sense based on Nobunaga. So no, it is Orca Nobudaka.
That's a
is his
great
name.
name.
I both salute and am
That's a
disgusted by you.
great name.
Then it's the perfect orc name. So no, that's what the origins of Orca Nobudaka and why Oda Nobunaga is better than people and especially historians give him credit for. That's me.
All right. Mark Allen Jr., what's crack-a-lackin'?
Oh, just my joints as I constantly
figured.
grow older and older.
As it
You can
creeps in.
find me on the Twitter and Blue Skies at Mark Allen Jr. Here on Twitch at Aeon Protect Gaming. Follow my fat sleepy cat bunny on Instagram at Chonk4Life. And super, super fun little thing on Monday. That's right, next Monday. I will be participating in Dice Legends The Gauntlet. I'm going to be
Ooh.
joining an all-wizard team with a 3-hour hard clock to prevent the destruction of the entire world.
Oh, jeez.
So,
Wizard gang.
yeah, dude, check it out. It's going to be at Dice Legends. Some of our fellow Unexpectables have been on their channel before.
I think
was
most of
with
us
them
have,
last
yeah.
time. Yeah, we did a one shot with them, and then I was in I think a 4 or 5 part mini campaign with them as Rubik, who was a wizard. Funny enough,
They're good
A
peeps.
wizard?
they're really fun. Yeah, they're really nice as well.
And-
Wizard friends.
Our team is filled with some very interesting wizard builds, so I hope you guys will check that out. It's gonna be fun. Also, I failed during my 3-hour music challenge stream last week. I made the mistake of trying to use a sample. So that won't ever happen again. Don't worry. But we will be doing more music challenge stream this Friday night because I'm a little busy during the day. So Friday night we'll be doing a 3-hour music challenge stream. I will spin a wheel. It will tell me what genre I'm making, and I will have 3 hours to make it. And this time, I will not try and put the round peg in the square hole. I will just make square music, and we'll be happy, damn it.
Very nice.
Hands you a trapezoid.
How could you?
Wait, is that a Chris Zito that I hear?
Oh God. Is
Zito,
it?
what have
I'm
you
so
been up to?
sorry.
You sound like you have a lot to say.
I honest to God don't, but okay, here I go. Hi, you can find me at twitch.tv.
I was like,
Zito.
let me set him up. No, I got nothing actually. Oh.
No, I got nothing.
Wow.
But actually, you can find me on twitch.tv/Zito. And all my other socials are now on that website. I basically have just gone whole hog into this fucking VTuber thing. Apparently, people really like this dumb possum gimmick that I'm doing, so I guess I am so invested in it now that I actually have something cool merch-wise on the horizon. So that literally just got found out not like 2 hours ago that something merch-related for Toothpick is gonna happen. But
Sick.
yeah, so you can find me streaming Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays, where Sundays being dedicated to strictly cart because apparently everyone likes the idea of playing that game on Sunday. So beyond that, catch me on Friday playing He Who Funny Dark Souls, but not really the Armored Core. Beyond that, indie games forever. And also speaking of War Boys, apparently I got art commissions that I'm going to be doing at some point, and someone literally just wants me to make an orc in my artwork in my style. So yeah,
I mean, that'd be freaking sick, dude. Let me know how it comes out because I might have to hit you up.
well, I'm gonna be streaming it. It's gonna be a stream. So
Let's
my
go.
commission work's gonna be a stream. By the way, my commissions are open. Go to my Twitch page. Go to my Discord. The Discord there will basically give you all the commission info you would ever possibly need.
Very nice. And we're also really excited to be joined by Monty Glue, the DM of the Unexpectables, joining us for a
Hi.
Q&A this time. What are you up to?
I am making terrain and other things.
Yeah,
that I
you're
can't say.
DMing while you Q&A.
I kind of am. I'm currently working on. I have a bit of a a deadline for some IRL D&D terrain and props and things. So I'm actually gonna be working on that in the background. However, you can find me at MontyGlue on Twitter. You can find me at twitch.tv/MontyGlue, where we are going to have hopefully more Dungeons and Mad Mage on Thursday. There will not be a Final Fantasy stream this week because I promised to hang out with a friend. and I would like to do that. Please let me go outside. And then Monday should hopefully be more Mass Effect.
Mass Effect
So.
2.
Yes, I wish so hard I could share what I'm working on, but I can't because a lot of my players follow me on social media, and so I can't share.
You're gonna
what I'm
have to
working
take
on.
pictures of the process and then share them the next time we're on the stream.
I'll post it once it becomes relevant, but
There you go.
it's really rough because it's just like people. God damn it! It's really
Yeah.
funny because I've been sending it to people on Discord, like, look at this thing I made. I need to show someone.
And last but certainly not first, we have Xanalis Grim joining us for the Q&A. What's up, dude? Where can they find you, and what are you up to?
Hi, I'm certainly not first. You can find me over on the shitter at Zanny_Grim if you wish. You can also catch me Mondays at 7 p.m. PST, where I am running a D&D game on stream over on my Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/ZanlessGrim. I'm running that with Bosco, Monty, Level 1 EV, Heartsy, and Monty's good friend Shay. We're going to be going on our 4th episode, so that'll be exciting. Aside from that, you can find me and Bosco on Tuesdays playing Halo Reach Lasso on stream. If you enjoy suffering alongside us, we're there. And then Thursdays, I get to go back to the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, where we get to commit almost war crimes in the Undermountain over on Monty's Twitch channel. So if that interests you, there's that. And that's me.
Very nice.
That last session was the most just brutal.
It was the most us.
It was, yeah.
And you could, of course, find me on twitch.tv/EdwardBosco and at EdBoscoVA on both Instagram and Twitter. Also, I now have a TikTok. I put up my first TikTok video. I posted it on the gram. I threw it up on whatever Twitter's called nowadays. You should go check it out. Basically, it's just a summary of some of the characters that I've played, and I may or may not have some behind-the-scenes footage in there where I totally didn't dress up as all of them. So, yeah, check it out. I want to thank everybody for the bits and subs. I'm going to call out the ones that I see real quick, and then we're going to jump right into the questions, so I'm sorry if I miss anybody. I'm just going to get these real quick. I would like to thank, if I get to the top, Thornton, thank you for the Tier 1 sub. We got Honey Doomoon, thank you for the Tier 1 sub for 3 months. Thornton, thank you for the 35 months. Dreadlord Bedrock, thank you for the 41 months. Hippo, thank you so much for the bits. We got Phil Lane with the Tier 1 sub for 21 months. Booty Call and the Sugar Lumps, thank you for the Tier 1 sub for 41 months. We really appreciate it. The Real Gray Beast, thank you so much for the Tier 1 sub for 13 months. We've got Clown Piss of Bel Air, that's a name. Thank you for the 500 bits. Wolfwing, thank you for the 5 bits. Morth Randor, thank you for the Tier 1 sub for 28 months. Oh boy, this is going to mess me up. Aurelius, thank you so much for the Tier 1 sub at 24 months. I apologize in advance for that one. Meek the Bassist, thank you so much for the 41 months at Tier 1. Lord Servitor, thank you for the 100 bits. Chair of Folding, thank you so much for the Tier 1 sub at 20 months. King Kiwi, thank you for the 29 months at Tier 1. And Shell has a very special announcement. During the Q&A, Monty will be addressed as Monty Q. We just want to get that out there right now. Yep. Let's see. We've got Henry Skellerman. Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub for 15 months. Appreciate the support. And Morth Randor, thank you for gifting 10 at Tier 1 subs to the community. And King Shinrock, thank you so much for the 600 bits. So now it's time to jump into the Unexpectables. And how apropos. Shell always seems to ask the first question.
Well, not the Unexpectables, the Q&A.
Well, the Q&A, yeah.
The unexpectable Q&A.
Q&A. Not not the art
The
gallery.
totally expected Q&A.
The totally expected Q&A with the totally not
the-
art gallery background and the totally not season 1 art.
And by the way, for all those who came from my stream and was just like, "Wait, are you playing D&D today?" I'm sorry, I forgot today's Q&A. Sorry.
Boom.
Stop by next week. I promise you. I promise
See,
you.
it was unexpected.
I'm excited for next week because everybody here in this call has been in we have a Discord channel, obviously, for Unexpectables. And literally everyone here has just been planning for how they're going to hunt down a beast.
We have multiple heinous, stupid plans.
They do, and it's
At
great.
least one of them might work.
Might.
Yeah.
All right, so when does Milo get swallowed whole to keep up the constant?
Oh,
Look, I
boy.
have to get eaten at least once per campaign. We started a precedent in season 1.
That was Greckles.
It's a different character.
I'm always
wake up,
Gripples.
Milo. You're not covered in feathers, please.
What if he woke up and he was a Kenku?
What if well, I mean,
Whoops.
like, you fucking
I would-
say that.
I would
I'll
scream
play a joke
crossover.
that we get polymorph. We'll get a polymorph spell and just pull a funny
Yeah,
prank
you're
on
a
you
bird
one day.
now.
Well,
You're a
oops, all
sunbird.
birds.
Surprise.
Except this time you're a red bird.
Oh.
That would be hysterical if we just like. So I feel like Milo would be a mourning dove if he was a bird.
I could see that. I could see that.
Sorry.
Shahalem with the
I
first
was
question
thinking
saying,
more like a hummingbird.
Shahalem wants to know, Bosco, what is Kai's class? I would have to say probably chemistry, maybe math, if I had to pick a class that he would
be
be
good at
all
lunch,
about.
I think.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
snack
I mean,
or
he
lunch.
would enjoy
Yeah.
lunch, but
What do
I'd
you
probably
mean
have
he's
to
not
go
a-
chemistry for
No,
his class.
no. The ultimate answer to that would be he's free. He's free study hall.
Anything to not study?
Yeah, and yep.
The
free-
dude who's
the
always
dude
got
is
his head in a
free.
book doesn't want to study.
Yep.
He's got to pace
It's
himself.
help action.
It's-
So there's a really
First
interesting
aid
question
class.
that we got. It has to do more with the intros than it does D&D. Do you guys want to answer it? It's about your Twitch names.
Sure.
Sure,
Okay.
fuck it.
So Dave the Cat is actually really interested and wants to hear the story behind all of our Twitch names.
Oh,
It's
you
God.
have
literally my
one.
fucking name.
Yeah, for some of us it's just our names. But for those of you that have a story behind it, would you like to explain it?
I have a start. Mine's
Okay.
a bit long, but
Go for it.
okay. So when I was 17,
Always a good start.
I worked at a pet store. I won't say which pet store it was, but it was a chain. And I had to work on Christmas Eve, which fucking sucked ass.
Hmm.
But I, at the time, I'm not going to tell you what my old username was, but at the time I had an old username, but it was very like DeviantArt, Neopets username-esque. And so I was working that day at the pet store, and it was very busy because a lot of people like last minute were like, "Oh, we got to get something for the pets, right?" And so I'm working. I made bank just selling treats and stuff. And these two women come in. It's like probably like a 40-year-old lady and her like 80-year-old mother. And they come in, and the 80-year-old woman is the most British woman I've ever met in my life. Like nothing comes close. And she walks up to me and she goes, "I'm sorry, miss, I don't mean to bother you. I'm looking for treats for my pet mouse, Monty Blue de Verre." And I'm like, "Huh?" And she's like, yes. And like I help her. We had hamster treats. We didn't have mice treats. And I'm like, "Why? What's up with Monty Blue de Verre?" She's like, "Well, in truth, Monty Blue de Verre isn't actually my pet. He's a mouse that lives inside of my cupboard. He's the third of his name. The first one we had when I was a child, and he was very fine. We would give him like little saucers of milk and things. He was very cute. The second Monty Blue de Verre, I believe, met an untimely end because at the time I had 9 cats, and I don't think a mouse would live that long in a house filled with 9 cats." And I'm like, "Uh-huh." And she goes, "Yeah, so currently I'm feeding the third Monty Blue de Verre, and so we had to pick something up for him." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." She was very sweet, very nice. And she told me like she was gonna write books and the main character's name would be Monty Blue de Verre. And I was like, "That's super cool." And then she left, and I went into the back and I wrote down Monty Blue de Verre, and I'm like, "This is gonna be my name forever now." I'm like, this was a gift.
You just
What?
hijacked it from some old lady?
I was just using it as a
Technically,
username.
she stole it from a mouse. So
I technically stole from us. Technically, also I messed it up. There were 2 Monty Blue de Verres. I'm the third one. So there was the first mouse when she was a child, the second mouse like when she was buying treats, and then I like the name. I use it as a Steam name. Like I didn't expect to like use it as like my thing for everything, but it kind of became that, which is why I kind of dropped the de Verre and it's just Monty Blue now.
After hearing all of this, I have to ask a question for you. What is my prize at the end of this quest?
Yeah, it's a tale. I mean, it's very long, but I hope that woman's doing well. And it's really funny because the entire time she was telling me these great stories, like her daughter was just like, "Oh my god," and I was like, it's so invested. I loved it. But yeah, that's basically where my name came from. But I shortened it to Monty Blue just to be a bit more unique. But
That's
yeah.
adorable. That honestly, that's the most used story I can think of for a screen name.
Yeah, honestly, like it felt like, especially considering how unhappy I was like, this sucks. I have to work on New Year's. I missed out on a bunch of, or not New Year's, sorry, Christmas Eve. I was missing out on like doing stuff, and I had to work. Ugh. But then like that woman coming in, I'm like, this just feels like a gift in a way, just to make up for like it's like karma. And yeah, it's been with me literally ever since. That's been my name ever since. So yeah.
Gaijin, Mark, Zan.
Save me for last.
Okay, Mark.
Shit. Okay. Well, in high school, I wrote a story that was a fan fiction of Inuyasha, and I created the main character. And then later on in high school, I repurposed that character to be an original character in a story I was co-writing with a friend of mine, and that character had a romantic interest who died, and her name was Aeon, and she was like the impetus for his whole hero's journey. And so when I started making productions, radio plays and things like that, I was using Aeon Productions for a little while. And then fast forward to 6 years ago now, I tried to make a tech YouTube channel and was like, well, I'll just use Aeon again. And I wanted to do Aeon Pro Technology. That was already taken. Aeon Pro Tech was already taken. And I was like, well, I'll also talk about gaming news. And I guess if I ever want to put up any gameplay stuff, we'll just tack on gaming. So it became Aeon Pro Tech Gaming because it wasn't taken. That's
Nice. I mean, that was some history to it, the fanfic and
It's
everything.
so much hodgepodge. It's like 20
Yeah.
years of just mashing things together.
What about you, Zan? Where did Xanalis Grimm come from?
I grew up on the Grimm fairy tales, being read them by my very, very Irish great grandmother, and so I really like that. But the first ever like story I wrote, I think I was 9 or 10 years old. It was a fantasy setting. Those who are familiar with Carol, that was what it eventually became. And the first ever like character I wrote, or adventurer I wrote, was named Xanalis. Just a random collection of letters, and ever since then, it just kind of stuck with me.
Nice.
Yeah, that's me.
Hey,
Succinct.
Ed.
A true writer. All right, Gaijin. You're last.
Hold up.
What's up,
Hold up.
Tito?
Ed,
Up.
But before we go onto
Mhm.
Gaijin, because you wanted to save him last. It's my name, obviously, but I do have a fun fact about how I did get my name on Twitch.
Oh, all right.
Limes. She was working for Twitch at the time, and
Really?
some guy was sitting on that name for like 7 years, and he was not active since then. So Limes just went, all right, fuck this guy, and I commandeered that dude's name.
Hey.
So
Okay.
thanks, Limes. You're a peach.
Honestly, you're getting way more use out of it.
I love limes. I just send her pictures of seals all the time. All the
Yeah.
time. I'm like,
Shout
"Here's a
out to the
cute
OG.
seal." You love it. Limes
Identity
very
theft is
sweet.
no joke. Fuck you. That's like that one guy who literally stole my job application and said you should really get a better last name. Fuck you.
Oh.
Yeah, some of us who have shared names fought hard to achieve our positions, okay?
Yeah.
There's a dentist in Ohio and a failed football athlete who are now below me on the Google search, and they deserve it.
Oh, you know what, Mark? Big same. I'm on the top of the Google search list from that guy.
Let's fucking go.
I'm on the front page, baby.
We out here fighting.
It's a struggle, y'all. You don't even know.
I don't
All right,
know
guys,
yet
hit
if
us with the
Google
story.
my name.
So, I had just gotten back from Japan. I was dabbling around with trying to figure out what I was going to do for YouTube because I actually made YouTube videos while I was still overseas. They just didn't get anywhere and they were terrible. But I was sitting here thinking to myself, it's like, all right, I don't want to be my actual self because I didn't want my identity to be out there. I had a lot of enemies at the time and I didn't want to make more. So I was like, all right, I want to work in a character, but I want to work in a character that's really easy to animate because I don't know how to animate. I know how to do keyframes, and that's really about it. So I was like, all right, so what's a Nintendo character that does that would be really easy to like manipulate? Oh, Goomba, because they only got head, feet, and face. So that's kind of where that came from, really. And I really liked the alliteration too. Alliteration is really easy to remember. Ask anyone who read Bronze, Silver, Gold Age comic book series; they will tell you. So yeah, that's really where it came from. I kind of have a secret love and affinity for Goombas. So whenever people are like, murder them, I cry inside and then wish for their swift death. Like remember
Wow.
that there was a 3D animation that was basically a Goomba kid growing up. His dad goes off to war to fight Mario, comes back dead, gets a wife, a child, gets drafted, and then like right before Mario stomps him, his whole life flashes before his eyes. And I legitimately was upset. I was actually angry. So yeah. It's there. It's like a Goomba simulator or something like that. And oh my god, if anyone sat me down and was like, I'm gonna make you watch this, I'm gonna kick you in the balls.
As you should.
So yeah.
As you should.
That's just frame 1 level 2.
Oh, what about the H? Okay, so the thing with the H is that when I started getting, I didn't expect to get big at all. I didn't expect to make money. I just wanted to do something fun, but it caught on, and I was like, crap, what if Nintendo sues me? Because there was a time when, you know, Nintendo was kind of like that. So I was like, all right, you know, I'm just going to throw a silent H on the end. It's going to be fine. And then I had a whole bunch of people be like, did you know that that's a racial slur? And it's like, I can't win. So yeah.
Very nice. That's a
Hey,
so
Bosco, how'd
that's
you come
the
up
H
with your
thing.
name?
My parents ran out of ideas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Can I talk about my real name real fast for a little short story?
If
Sure.
you like.
I learned
Yeah.
recently, my parents were going through some stuff and they found the list of baby names for me. I just want to point out, I was almost called Alexandria, which would have been fucking awesome.
That would have been cool.
Especially for liking out Final Fantasy IX, huh?
I know. I was like, damn it, that was so cool. However, if I was a boy, I had a different name, but it was really funny because it was a really long list of names, and I'm like, why are there so many names? And apparently the reason why I got my real name is because my dad at the time worked at a diner for like 20 years, like at a restaurant, and he refused to have me share the same name as any of the waitresses that ever worked there. I just want to point out, 20 years of waitresses is a lot. So
Jesus.
that's how I got kind of my real name. It was just my dad was like, no, I refuse to name our daughter after this waitress. And I'm like, there's so many waitresses. But I
love it.
digress.
The next question is from Mega Waffles, who wanted to ask this to Connor and Mark. So I guess, Mark, this is going to be all you. With the two with eyewear, are your characters nearsighted or farsighted? It would be hilarious if Iskon was nearsighted.
So Iskon is farsighted. That's sort of been my headcanon. It's the reason why he wears his glasses his goggles all the time rather than only wearing them when he needs to read. He can technically read the maps in front of him just fine, but if he's trying to like notate a landmark or something like that, he wants to be able to see it from how someone would see it when they see it. So yeah, he's farsighted.
Imagine the absolute fucking agony in his eyes when he sees the dead pixel on the map.
Dude.
Oh, no.
Dude, I want him.
Oh,
Take the goggles
no.
off and clean them. It's gotta be a mistake.
Honestly, I'd love to see him in bifocal goggles. Don't ask how that
I don't
would
even know.
work.
Yeah, I'm curious how, or like
Where
the the old school, like the row of magnifying glasses that go in front of the lens.
Mm-hmm.
Those always bug the shit out of me in fantasy worlds, because especially if like you're in a fucking desert setting, it's like you are roasting your fucking reticle. What are you doing?
It's all right. They're
Weird.
polarized.
As someone who had their cornea cut from a contact lens, that shit weirds me out. Yep.
Nope.
Yeah, there's a
no
reason
thanks.
I wear glasses. Well, there's
Yeah,
two
me too.
reasons. That's one of them.
So this next one is a question for all of us. This is from Lovely Lorelei. They ask, do you guys watch other tabletop RPG live plays? And if so, which ones are your favorites?
I'm just gonna come right out and say I do not.
Ditto.
It's really hard for me to do so because if I'm not playing, I want to be playing, and it's really hard for me to keep attention when I'm not playing. But I would say of all the ones that I have listened to, I think the one that Zan is running is currently my favorite. So,
Oh, thank you.
yeah.
Aw.
Mine's not a like, oh, I just don't want to watch the period or anything else. It's just that I don't have the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally at time, and I don't want to get invested in a story. Like, yeah, I could like listen to a podcast while I'm drawing and shit, which is, you know, the smart thing to do. But I would get too invested in the story that I would just stop working.
I will say that I will watch clips and sections of stuff. So, for example, I will watch sections of Dimension 20 with Brennan Lee Mulligan because Zan is always talking him up. So I've wanted to kind of watch his DM style, and I've been trying to do. Yeah, I've been trying to do more of that, especially with October coming up, and I might be running again. So I wanted to make sure that I was back on my game, and then I watch clips of Critical Role both for the players to see what they do in their game, and also to watch Matt because I think Matt is one of the best narrators that I've ever heard. So just the way that he's kind of able to get in and out of like the high speak is really interesting. So I will specifically watch moments for research. I haven't sat down and watched full episodes because, unlike most people, I don't really have a commute or anything to listen to podcasts on the way to work. So those hours are filled up by other stuff that I try to do, especially with how much I stream. But I do try to watch some stuff for research.
I will say this though, when it comes to like, I don't watch D&D podcasts, but I am like, with all the amount of fucking homebrew that I have read and all the content creators that I watch, I am like on stalker level for that shit. It's kind of gross. I fucking love it when I find a new homebrew content creator who actually like puts the time and effort and work into it. I normally don't talk to them because, like I said, it's like it kind of sounds a little stalkerish, but like I fucking am. If someone's writing D&D homebrew anything, 9 times out of 10, if they like open up and say, oh, well, there was this one bit for this, and I'll be like, oh yeah, did you consider A, B, C, D, E, F, G? And they're like, wait, what? What the fuck? Just throw it out at them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hurt, Zito. You didn't do that with me.
You told me about your stuff!
Monty, did you got one?
Yeah, I do. I actually feel like I'm a bit of an outlier here because I do watch a bit, but I don't watch everything, obviously. I have watched half of Campaign 1 of Critical Role. I watched all of Campaign 2 of Critical Role. In fact, I even was there live for the finale. It was very fun. I'm probably about 20 episodes into Campaign 3, but I kind of fell off just because I've been ingesting other media right now. I have seen a couple episodes of Joe Fudge's campaign, if we know Joe Fudge, and I've seen clips of Brett Ultimus's stuff and like the animations that have been done about that. I haven't really seen all that much Brendan Lee Mulligan, which is strange because I've seen his like stand-up performance stuff, but I haven't seen his D&D stuff, which is weird. But I've seen clips of him doing stuff.
He does have an incredible knack for slipping into character.
Dude, his improv skills,
insane. His character.
Dan has showed me some of his
He's
improvs where he like improved an entire court scene.
Yeah.
It was insane.
It's really funny because I saw him doing a skit where it was like it was like monster truck announcers, but it's a Renaissance fair.
I fucking love that one.
That one's so funny, and he's in that, and that one was fucking hilarious. I've also listened to a bit of the McElroy's one, the McElroy's. Sorry, my bad. Because I was gonna run Minds of Fandelver, and I knew that they ran at least the first part, but I thought they did the entire thing, but they didn't. So I will listen to just random D&D groups for like pre-gens that I'm interested in running if they exist, just to see how they handle things. I've also watched a little bit of XP Level 3 as well. So I kind of hop around. I don't like dedicate myself to watching an entire series, but I do kind of peek on things. I also like to watch, like, I like getting different perspectives from different DMs because this whole thing is subjective. I'm sure, Zan, you can agree. Like, everyone's got their own way that they do things. And, like, seeing how different people do different things, I think, is healthy. But, yeah, I've watched a few. I feel really bad because people are like, have you seen this? And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. I'm busy. I apologize. But, yeah, that's me.
Nice. Yeah, I was gonna say you're probably the only one that consistently watches a lot of stuff outside of maybe Zan.
I feel like that and playing are good to do, just to learn. I mean, like I think, yeah.
Actually, this next question is for you specifically, Monty. This one is from Henry Skellerman. They have a question for Monty. Have you ever read the Artemis Fowl books? And if yes, did they inspire any facets of the Prince division?
So, get this. I've never read Artemis Fowl, but my mother has read the whole series.
Oh!
Yeah.
So maybe osmosis?
I don't know. I mean, I know of it. This is going to anger you, and I'm so sorry. I know of Artemis Fowl from just the notorious live action. I think it was a movie or was it a show? I can't even remember. But no, I've never read Artemis Fowl, which is strange because when I was in like high school, it was when it was, I think, quite popular, but I never read it. No. Prince Division was heavily inspired by. I was in a writers group actually. I think I talked about this during a Minecraft stream, but I was in a writers club and we all decided, like, we threw a bunch of ideas in a hat because all of us wanted to do like a lot of writing exercises, and we all wanted to decide on like writing in like a shared universe together. It was really cool. It was such a fun thing to do, and I miss it. And so we all pulled modern fantasy. So we had to do modern fantasy. And us writing together really, like, I wrote about the Orc Mafia. That was what I wrote about. We had another person who wrote about these investigators. We had all these different angles on different stories that were really cool. The other, this is so bad. I'm going to say this out loud. The other inspiration for Prince Division was I was angry at Bright. If you remember Bright,
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I was super excited for Bright because I was like, because I was in the writers club, because we were writing modern fantasy. I'm like, oh my god, this could be like a really cool new thing. And then I watched it and I'm like, what a wasted opportunity.
The
like,
setup is so good, and there's just nothing.
Yeah, it sucks. So like that made me angry, and then I've always been like writing stuff like in high school, like every single I've been, not to be like, oh, I've always been an artist, but it's like I literally like almost failed school because I would just rather be writing or drawing shit. And like the whole Rampoon City stuff, I mean, I was working on that in like high school, and that was just from my own like oh, I think this is a cool concept, I want to try this and let's draw some stuff. And then like I kind of merged a bunch of things together, which was fun. But yeah, it was kind of mixed. Shadowrun, I guess, a little bit. I think that's the most obvious like kind of RPG fantasy thing, but I never really got into Shadowrun. But
Oh, sorry, I have a weird cough.
yeah. But yeah, Prince Division was honestly its own, like, obviously we took inspiration from each other, but it definitely was more born out of the writers club I was involved with. And man, I hope everybody in that writers club is still writing because they were all really good. I miss that, honestly. Like, I miss the university club. Which, by the way, I'm going to say this right now. If you are away from home at a university, join a club. It is so, like, worthwhile just to meet people and engage in stuff. And, like, it's so good. But anyway, I digress.
All right.
I hope that
well, that was
answered the question.
so
okay.
Yeah, no, you absolutely did. Okay, so this is a really good question for anybody that DMs, which I think is just about everybody in this room, specifically in person. Mutrin wants to know, what do you have behind your literal screen as a DM? For example, what would you have pinned to a board for easy reference notes? I know I have some basic stuff from the DM screen, Wizards of the Coast sells, which has different conditions, sizes of creatures, what you can do in a turn, some of the services you can buy. And additionally, I have player characters' names and their hit points and AC posted, noted on my screen. Zan, why don't we start with you, since I know you do a lot of in-person stuff?
I mean, it does depend on the system I'm running. If it's a system I've ran a gazillion times, my screen tends to be pretty empty. I usually have a holder for my cell phone, which I hold most of my campaign notes that I'm going to be reading off, or immediate things I need to look up. I have a laptop usually for music, and some lighting effects and speaker such. And then lastly, I've got an entire like rolling drawer that I usually keep next to me that has dice, markers, minis, things that I need to set up for that. And then if it's a system that has a lot of mechanics that I'm not super versed in, I'll usually have a notebook that I like hand print or hand write stuff in, and have that at the ready behind my DM screen. But that's usually me.
Yeah. What about you, Zito?
Keywords usually pinned to the back of the wood, followed by either note printouts that I had for that specific session, my laptop in case I need sound effects, or if there's something I absolutely like have just completely forgotten that I look up online for anything. And any space that is free is normally props to annoy my players with.
Very nice. Mark, how about you? What's behind your DM screen?
Yeah, a laptop, usually for quick note access and also like music. Especially when we're first starting, I usually have a sticky note that has my player names next to the character names, so I can keep track of who is who until it like gets forced into my head. Because sometimes my memory doesn't like to, commit that information. And then inevitably and always, I have a notepad that has a bunch of pre-written notes for either certain enemies or NPCs that I know have to appear. Just in case I need to have their stats on hand, I'd rather have those like really quickly available rather than having to like pull them up on like Google Docs or something like that. So there's always like loose leaf paper somewhere, which I'm sure annoys players. But that's the kind of DM I am. I'm a struggle DM. That's me.
All right, Monty, you're going to be
All right.
running this Saturday and Sunday. What's behind your DM screen?
Okay, now we're talking specifically like what is behind my physical DM screen, or what do I pack when I run? Because those are two.
You could
entirely
honestly, you could do
different lists.
both. They specifically said behind your literal screen, but if there's stuff you
I-
also
Okay.
bring.
I feel like I can make this a little bit more specific. Physically behind your DM screen 90% of the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I am running. It is worth pointing out, I run pre-gens, so that will change this, obviously. So when I run a pre-gen, and I'd say right now in Tomb of Annihilation, I have the Tomb of Annihilation pre-written adventure, shock. I also have my Die Hard Dice rolling mat, like the roll-upable one. I also have a magnetic dice tower. It's very small, very, very compact because I wanted something easy to carry. I have 2 sets of dice, just because DM, 2 sets of dice. I also have sorry, I just don't want to forget anything. I have a tablet. I don't know if it's a Windows tablet. I think it's a Windows tablet. Heartsy would know. I have a Windows tablet that is attached to a speaker with an auxiliary cord. And then I have my DM screen. I've wanted to get like a wooden one, but they're too heavy. I just have I have a really nice kind of like metallic sheen, like one of the standard ones you get for D&D 5th edition. It's very good. It's got all of my resources on it. And then I have a notebook, which at the front of the notebook has all the character names. That's how I keep track of them, is at the front of the notebook for that campaign. I write down the character names. And the notebook is to track HP and initiative. And then additionally, I have what I use for initiative in real life games is I have initiative cards. So basically when we roll initiative, I have handout cards that I give the players to tell them where they are in the initiative order. So I keep those behind my screen as well. And then occasionally behind my screen, I get inspiration tokens. So basically, if all my players show up on time for the game with all their things, they get an initiative, a inspiration coin that they can spend throughout the session at any point to reroll anything, including my rolls if they want to. So that's everything I have.
Hey Monty, can I get one of those just for our show,
No,
please?
no.
No.
Oh,
Mark shows up
man.
every time on time.
I'm always on time,
I-
Monty.
I will
Borrowed.
say as well, it's not behind my screen, but I have a fucking giant ass bin, like a huge like storage bin where I keep all of my stuff for the game, and it's always full all the time.
I have a legit ass fucking treasure chest.
Oh,
that
that's
was
so cool.
custom made that has my gimmick stuff in it.
Yeah, I've over the course of like 4 or 5 years have collected really, really helpful things, but those aren't behind my DM screen, so I won't go into those 'cause we'll be
Man.
here all day.
I wish I had time to DM. I'm the only one here that doesn't, I think.
Let's stop.
I haven't recently. but-
Time, Zito.
Oh my gosh.
What's in the chest? All the props and tchotchkes I was talking about, like foam dice that throw at people when they take too long. I have like a fake flintlock pistol that actually fires confetti. I have a tiny like miniature trebuchet that actually works, that fires like little marshmallows at people. I'm telling you, dude, I'm the fucking worst. Why would you want me to be your DM?
I will also say,
Free snacks?
if you're
clown.
running in real life, one of my favorite things I actually got from for running great. English is my language that I speak on the regular. One of my favorite things I bought, which is not something I use, but something I give to my players to borrow, is health trackers.
Yep.
I got
Big fan.
because if you are running a long form game, I highly recommend getting health trackers. You can usually find them 3D printed on Etsy or somewhere, because that way the players aren't erasing and writing down their health constantly. Because if you're doing a long form campaign, that character sheet's gonna die. So it's better off if you
Yeah.
get something from to track your HP. I have 6 of them. I actually contacted someone on Etsy. I'm like, hey, can you make me 6 of these? And they were like, sure. And I'm like, sick, thanks. Yeah, you'll want 3-digit health trackers specifically, especially if you intend to do long form games. But they're a good investment, and I lend them out to people.
Modern D&D is crazy. There's so much new technology.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean, 3D printing has made playing IRL D&D so much more interesting.
Honestly, even if you
For
don't have a
sure.
3D printer, if you have like the plans, there's likely a makerspace somewhere near you where you can get it printed.
I have 2 people in my town who I'm like, hey, I need this. Like, I literally sent off a mini. I'm like, I need this mini by Saturday, which I don't anymore. I'm like, can you get this to me by Saturday? And they're like, I'm on it. And I'm like, God, this rules. I love this. It's so nice.
So I could basically everything behind my DM screen is stuff that you've already heard. Me specifically, just because mechanically I haven't run a lot of D&D and sometimes the rules aren't in my head, I will have stuff behind the board, like if we're using a cover system or if there's a mechanic that I normally always forget about, I'll try to keep that somewhere so that's always in the front of my mind. But yeah, for the most part, laptop, notes, all that stuff, minis. One thing that Zan has been doing in person on our Sunday games that I thought was really interesting is having sleeves that you can put your character sheets in that you can write on with like a dry erase marker.
Yeah.
So that
that's
if you
old
don't have a
school.
health
That's really
tracker,
smart.
you can actually just erase stuff. And also, if you're going to be changing your character sheet a lot, like you level up a lot or your stats change a lot, or you just want to have your inventory be blank and you can write that stuff on there, it's really easy to erase when you use something and you're not tearing up your paper. So I thought that was really smart, but credit where credit is due. It's not my idea.
There are
It's not mine either, to be fair.
there
Yeah,
are
but
like
I don't know where you stole it from.
official D&D like binders now that you can buy. I got one for my good friend Shay for Christmas, and they're super nice.
Thank you for using the title.
I love that you get,
course.
yeah, that's a thing now.
The honorific.
Yeah,
Right,
the
yeah,
honorific
it's
for
required.
Shay. Yeah,
So yeah, great. I don't think we've had that question before. So really good question.
that
my
is a
friend-
fantastic question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Callum Draws has a really interesting question. Also, before we move on, Gaijin, I don't know if you've ever run a game of D&D, but is that something you're even interested in as DMing at some point in the future?
I attempted to run a game of D&D, but it was like in high school and nobody was committed.
Mhm.
So you know how those go.
Yeah.
If I could find the time or find a way to not have to do so much work, I would love to run a feudal Japan inspired game and put you guys through the ringer.
I would.
Don't know
I would love
when
to
I'd
see
be
it.
able to do it.
Yeah.
Mark would hate
I've
that.
been. Yeah.
Yeah, as we
Mark
all know,
would
I'm
hate that.
famously not a fan of feudal Japan.
Yeah. Very much
I wish
so.
I wish
So,
to be
this
wish to be a concept of evil. I'm sorry.
This next question is for all of us. That Gaijin, will start with you since that last one was a little outside your
Okay.
purview. Callum wants to know, what was something about playing your character that you found difficult or challenging at the start of the campaign that you've adjusted to now, RP or gameplay wise?
Just Greckles from the very beginning. Like Milo's easy because Milo is just a me extension of what I like to think are my better qualities. You have not seen Milo's weaknesses yet, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna see them soon. Greckles was specifically a challenge because I wanted to not be me, but I still wanted to incorporate aspects of my life because, as we've said a dozen times, you always put a little piece of yourself in every character you make, no matter how unique and original. So, edgy, grumpy, it was actually kind of problematic because I just leaned a little too hard into it in the beginning, and it was hard to find a good balance. But we inevitably got there once we all really started finding our balance. So, being someone you're not is a really difficult thing to do, even if you have acting experience.
Mm-hmm.
So,
What about you, Zito? Anything in particular that you had a hard time adjusting to with one of your characters?
And adjusting to the fact that everyone thought that tasks being default angry was my norm, to the point where making Gaius was literally a spite play to say, fuck you, I could be any other emotion I want.
So too many people like assuming that task was like what you did.
Yeah, no, people assume Task was me in real life, and I'm like, why would I be that? Who has the energy to be this angry?
Fair enough. Fair enough. What about you, Mark?
I'm trying to think because coming from an acting perspective, a lot of times I have things kind of figured out before I even play my character. So I do a lot of exercises and planning to kind of like have the character's personality, their wants, their goals, and everything in mind. But sometimes it's not usually at the start of a campaign. Usually it's in the middle or a little bit after we've started, where something that has happened in the story has thrown a wrench into what I had expected for the character, where I might have to make an adjustment. And that can be hard for me. Especially because, like I said, so much of it is already like cemented before we play, that when something happens where I have to change that character, it can take me a couple of sessions to kind of get that change rolled out and make that adjustment. So I think the only one that I can really think of was during that 6-year campaign that Bosco and Zan and I were all a part of. I think maybe like 2 or 3 years in, an opportunity showed up for my character to go one of 3 different directions for how I wanted to continue his character development in the story. And I had like 4 conversations with Bosco and 3 with Zan about like what I should do and where I should take him. I think that's probably the most trouble I've ever had with a character. Just trying to figure out, okay, with everything that's happened, I don't know where I want to take this character because all of these options make sense and I don't know which one is the best one. And ultimately we ended up with something that I was happy with and I think worked out for the story. Because it could have gone another way, and I don't think that character would have seen the end of the story if it had gone any of the other ways.
What about you, Monty Zan? Any thoughts?
Obviously I do NPCs. I obviously have my own characters too. Like I just got out of a 2-year campaign being an arrogant Goliath for 2 years. Now I'm playing a flirtatious, fun bunny girl, which is definitely a tonal shift. But for NPCs, like I think the hardest thing is like it's just I think the 2 ones are the flirtatious characters and the mean characters. I think like everyone here can attest that sometimes we come out of session and I'm like, I'm sorry that person was mean. I'm sorry.
Oh no, yeah, like even for like character interactions when we like used to do stuff all the time. Like even now in our games, like if we come out and we're like. There are moments where it's like, all right, in character this makes sense, but then after session I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm so sorry.
The thing is for me is just like obviously like I'm getting better at it. I think like I'm slowly getting more and more comfortable with it, but there's still always going to be like that what do you call it, dissonance, like this disconnect. One of the things I really want to do is I'm like I want some more crude characters. I think that's very much outside of my wheelhouse and I want to like try for it. But yeah, usually when I play like really mean, really genuinely dickish, polarizing characters, I feel very guilty, but it's necessary. Like there are characters like that in some of these stories, and they're assholes. Or they're just like direct or mean, or that's just the way that they are in their presentation. So
Monty, you're now entering what I had to deal with before. It was just like being frank does not equate you being an asshole in real life.
It's like the Delvarians in particular, people are like, these guys are dickheads. And I'm like, I think they're
just straightforward.
Yeah. I just think they're very direct, which can come across as very like disrespectful in lots of ways, which I totally understand. And I'm not saying that interpretation is wrong. It's just like in my head, I'm like, that's just kind of the way that they are. Like there's no other way for them to be besides this kind of very direct, very like quick and to the point and you know,
biting.
Yeah, but I feel like, you know, especially as time has gone on in Delvaria, that's kind of become a bit more like clear in that sense as to why they're the way that they are. But you know, I digress. But yeah, for me, it's just like I want to make characters that are very much not like me at all. As time goes on, I think that would be. I mean, I'm only going to do it if it makes sense. But for me, it'd be a nice excuse to try something different. in more ways all the time. Hopefully that makes sense. I hope I didn't just
Yeah,
get
absolutely.
No, we're with
Zan,
you.
do you have something in your head?
Yeah. I mean, so much of my NPC work and PC stuff is I people watch a lot in real life, so I go like, oh yeah, that's an interesting conversation that person's having. Kind of try and identify and read what they're doing. I'm like, oh yeah, that's I like how they said that, and I'll kind of like make a mental note or write it down. But it's a little different for me character wise because most of the time I come into a game, I'm usually there for some form of objective. Most of the people that I am a player for, it's usually for a one off or a few off, and I am there to like help get this character, more over, or this DM help them get more experience doing whatever they're trying to do. So I'm usually more goal oriented. But I agree with Gaijin in that like every character, at least I come to the table with, has bits and pieces of me or people that I know. And like Stragal, for example, is a deeply personal, like I knew a gay couple growing up that were very influential to me, and like Stragal is kind of my love letter between them, but separating like who they were and their story versus what I want to do with Stragal and being in a fantasy setting, it sometimes can be a bit of a struggle, but I feel like I'm hitting my stride as time goes on. But yeah, that's
Very
me.
nice. For me, I'll specifically speak to campaign 2 because I will say for every character that I play, there's always a struggle with something to start out. I think that's just a natural part of starting a new character. But specifically with Kai, since that's the most recent one, being number one, being useless on purpose kills me inside. You can ask Zan at his table. I'm very tactical with how I like to work the battlefield, and
You're
particularly having, huh?
You're very competitive.
Yeah, he wants to
well,
win at D&D.
Well,
I broke
I've
that.
tried to
Don't
be
worry,
better
I broke
about
that.
I've tried to be better about that. This was not a roast on me. I was just making a point
It's
that
always a
Zan can
roast on you.
confirm. I like to manipulate the battlefield, and I like to help set up other people to do cool stuff. And so not being able to do that and having to basically run, hide, cower, shoot with a bow, not have a lot that I can do. I love telling that story, but it was frustrating above game for me to be like, man, it would really be good if I just did this thing, but I'm not going to use that yet. So that was tough, and I've gotten better at it because I've just let that go. Number 2, also not making a political character in a campaign where it's been very obvious that politics plays a role. Again, Zankin, I was in a Mass Effect campaign, the 6-year one I was in with Mark and Zan. A lot of political turmoil, a lot of stakes for a lot of different people, and I really enjoy that. And now that Monty's kind of dipping her toes into it, and the fact that I don't have a character that can do that, it just drives me crazy. But at the same time, I'm like, how do I then set up Otho to do that, since that's really what he's built to do? So that's been the adjustment that I've had to make is how do I be involved in this stuff without being the person that's doing it, but rather setting up the person that has to do it, if that makes sense. So those have been the 2 real adjustments I've had to make. But yeah, good question, Callum. This next one is a little weird, but I'm going to give it to you, King Kiwi. Apparently this came up in the When We Last Left Off, but I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts and opinions on it. If you were hired or tasked with assassinating your PC from campaign 1, 2, or otherwise, how would you go about taking each one of them out, and in which order would you do so? So if you had a hit out on your PC, how would you take them out?
I would give Greckles cheese and watch him die.
Yeah, that's about
Holy
right.
shit. Monty,
Oh
I
my
don't believe you
gosh.
when you say you don't know how to be mean. That was...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty natural.
Molly
You were the
knows how
first one to
be
say
mean.
something.
She just doesn't like to be mean.
I don't like it, yeah.
Zito, how are you taking out Tasker Gaius? I'm curious.
Shit.
I wouldn't want to kill Gaius because Gaius gives me like Roadrunner vibes. Where if I try and kill,
I wouldn't want
Gaius,
to,
I
but
would
it's just
kill
a hypothetical.
Jeez, Monty.
You're making fucking Gaia sound like he's a Saiyan.
I mean,
Close. Yeah, Satyr, Saiyan, very close.
he's very strong and also just like
I mean, like, the best fucking way to get rid of Task would be with spells, or if you're not gonna be as direct with it, just fucking get him while he's sleeping. You just fucking close the distance and he's done. Like, yeah, he's got some defensive maneuvers to, like, outmaneuver you, but sooner or later, something's gonna fucking hit. It's like in Dark Souls when a guy has the fucking absolutely annoying crab dodge roll mechanic, and then all you have to do is just love tap them once and they fucking hit the floor like a sack of potatoes. That's Task.
Mark, you got anything for this one? For Iskon or Seika?
Seika's easy. You just get rid of Greckles and then Seika's done.
Okay, fair enough. So
For
cheese.
Iskon, I mean, honestly, get him when his goggles are off. If he can't see you when you're firing at him from a distance, he's done for. He's got such low AC and no real like constitution to save him that if he can't see you and you attack him from a distance, he's done.
I'm sorry. I want the meme where it's like that domino, the guy with the big dominoes, where it's just like the little one is giving Greckles cheese, and the biggest one is the complete dismantling of the
The
elemental plane of
entire
fire.
fire plane, yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny.
It would be that easy, honestly.
God, Monty, why are you going after Greckles so hard?
I'm
like,
not.
Yeah, yes, you are.
Monty, to be fair, the first comment was, well, I take out Greckles with cheese.
Yeah, for real. Like, you don't even hesitate.
But Gaijin, you started this talking about needing to get eaten, so you kind of set yourself up.
Mark,
I think
look,
I got Greckles on the brain because I was at a craft store and they had like, like head busts that you can get, like fake ones. And they had Halloween ones, and there was one that was like of a posh-looking raven, and I was so I should have taken a picture and sent it to you because I was like, "Yo, Greckles."
Greckles isn't a raven.
Realistic.
It was like a crow, so I didn't take a picture, but it had like blue and black.
Also,
feathers,
not
so
a crow.
it's
Oh
so funny,
man,
though.
I love it. What about Strigal, Zan? How would you take out Strigal?
Poison food.
Fair enough. That's a good way to
Strigal
go.
likes to eat, and
lazy
he's very
crickets with
trusting of
arsenic.
people.
replace the crickets with scorpions.
Oh
I was about to
gosh.
say, just fucking replace them with acid bugs or like.
I would.
Or Haribo gummy bears, sugar-free gummy bears.
That's not poison, man.
Just
It
Strigal
is.
It's not
overdoses-
enjoyable.
Strigal overdoses on Flintstone vitamins.
Sugar-free Haribo gummy.
So honestly, I think Remy and Kai would have a very similar way that you would have to take them out. I would, for Kai in particular, I would threaten Otho and basically separate Kai from the party in the first place to get him alone, saying if you don't do this, they're going to come after Otho. And then once he's alone, you just kick the shit out of him because he's a nobody who can barely cast. So one good fighter, take his head off. With Remy, because he was so tanky, you would have to stack the odds against him and make him basically have the hero complex where you could save as many people as you want against all these odds, and then eventually we're just going to wear you down and beat the crap out of him with as many people as I could throw at him. And yes, other people escape, but I'll kill Remy. So that's how I would do
I
it.
think you have to treat Remy like Spider-Man. You have to give him too
Kind
many
of.
people to save, and
Yep.
then
Now,
he'll try and save them all, and you can catch him.
And then you got him. Yep.
I just now fucking envisioned him like climbing up the wall. Yeah, I'll chase you to the ends of the earth.
See, you would think that heat metal would work on him, chat, but there are counters to that as he gets stronger.
Yeah, magical armor that you can don and doff at will.
Correct. Yep.
I like the word doff.
Yep.
Doff is such a great word, and more people need to use it.
Interesting question though, King Kiwi. That was a new one. This is a crossover question, so I'll keep it quick. Mr. Wax wants to know if Remy was tasked to destroy Archon the Cruel in the Black Order, who would he pick to fight alongside him? I believe that's the dude from Critical Role who took Vecna's hand.
Bosco,
Yes.
you completely skipped over me. Thank you.
Oh shit! I thought we were
No, keep
good on
going.
cheese.
Keep going.
No, go. No, how would you
No.
take out? No, I want to know
No.
how you would take out Milo.
No, because I'm gonna let you figure out how to kill the poor little child.
Oh, Milo?
He's a
Yeah.
grown man. I refuse to acknowledge him as a child.
Yeah, he's voting age, so
He's voting. He's draft age.
He just literally pulls out a pack of smokes. He fucking downs the whole pack and just throws the wrapper at
he
your
just
face.
he eats the box of cigarettes.
Well,
That's how you do it, right?
Listen, you fucking bastard! I don't have time for you.
Yeah, he's like a fucking orange justicing while he's smoking the whole pack.
I'd probably poison his drink.
I turn off
'Cause
the
he-
sun. I just flick the light switch. And
Oh my
I would
gosh.
Kill
just-
everything, Monty.
I would
but
just
I'd kill
grab-
Milo.
I would just grab a tray of confectionaries, like pastries and stuff, and then just pour them on the dirt in front of him.
No, that's how you get him to kill you.
So wait,
my
but
bad.
is poisoning his drink, would that not work, Gaijin?
Probably not, because he's not a heavy drinker.
well, drink as
What
in
about-
beverage that you consume.
Beverage that
not-
he would consume with his
So-
food.
alcoholic.
So I've got Purify Food and Drink.
If you know it's in there.
Yeah.
Can you do purified drink when it's already in you?
Well, no, he would do it beforehand, but he would have to know
Yeah.
that it's poisoned.
Is a halfling considered a container?
Oh my God.
Let's move on.
No,
Oh
I
my
consider
gosh.
them Tupperware at that point.
Yeah, Milo Tupperware.
Yeah.
Oh.
But no, to answer your question, Wax, because he's obviously got the Black Order, and I vaguely know the story. I'm taking the Mercs because you need an army. You can't just go in there by yourself. So I'm taking the Mercs, I'm taking the Campaign 1 guys, and I'm taking the Griffin Riders, and we're bringing all hell to the 9 hells because I think he's in like the first circle of the 9 hells, as last we heard from the character. So yep, I'm taking a whole army. I'm taking the Mercs, I'm taking Campaign 1 guys, and I'm taking maybe minus Greckles. It depends when in the timeline we heal him, but he might be retired.
You joke. Now I'm just imagining Task like bringing back a Baylor demon to the zoo.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like Remy's got some homies that know how to ride or die with some crazy shit. So I think we'd be all right with that threesome. Good question. Zenlita wants to know, for everyone, what superstitions, if any, would your character believe in and follow? And Gaijin, I'll start with you because I messed up.
He has a faith. Like Are we talking outside of regular Pantheon stuff?
I mean, whatever you consider is a superstition he might believe.
Milo firmly believes in the 5-second rule.
Oh, for food.
I love that. That's
That's
so
that's
fucking
perfect.
good.
That's really
I
good.
hate it though, but yeah, it's good. But I hate it.
It's good for
though.
him specifically.
That is so good. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Gaius would believe in the gazebo story.
Oh yes. The great gazebo in the sky.
No, he would absolutely fall for the it's a gazebo. That whole fucking spiel. He would 100% just not get it and completely destroy all sorts of shit.
What about you, Zito? Any superstitions for Gaius?
You just asked.
You just
You're
answered.
doing great, Bosco.
I didn't mean to
Hold
say
on,
Gaius.
hold on,
I
hold on,
I
hold on,
meant
hold on.
I meant to say Mark, and I literally just said it Zito.
So anyway, Gaius
Run
would
it back, run it
totally
back.
fall for the gazebo.
Okay, another thing that I meant to say, Mark. Any for EastCon?
I don't know. I'm trying to think about that because he's a pretty logical person, but he's also a worrywart. So it would have to be some sort of thing that's like housed in majority reality. I don't know. Come back to me. I'm gonna think
All
on
right.
it.
Zan, Monty,
I
either of you got one?
just want you to know, Bosco, real quick before we continue. When you said that, I literally blanked one eye followed by the other.
Nice.
Because I am running on 2 hours of sleep, and I'm like, how did he fuck this up?
Oh, very easily. Oh, very
Gosh.
easily. I have also had a day.
I'm trying to think of what characters have superstitions. That's not a spoiler. I mean, Empty's got obviously a lot going on, so they probably have a lot of superstitions.
What about for one of your PCs from like what about Stein or something like that?
Oh God, Stein. Oh, Stein was very much like under the belief that like the tallest person should be in charge. So because he was all tall all the time, he was like,
Oh
I'm
my
tall.
god, he's a fucking Urkin. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, he was raised by stone giants, and so he was the shortest. So when he actually ended up in Faerun, he was like, "Oh, I'm the tallest, which means I'm in charge now," which was not the case, which is really funny. Oh, I don't know if it's a superstition, but Toki, my little bunny that I'm playing now, she's in love with the big rabbit on the moon, because if you look at the moon, it has like a rabbit on it. So she basically is like, I'm gonna marry the big rabbit on the moon, and he loves me, and we're gonna like. And she's totally convinced that it's gonna happen.
We're gonna be having soft tacos later.
Yeah, literally, that's Toki. I'm trying to think of any other character. I feel like I'm gonna wake up at 4 a.m. and be like, oh!
I know which one.
Ugh.
I'm trying to think. Oh man, yeah, I can't think of anything that wouldn't be a spoiler, unfortunately. So I'll have to refrain. But
What about you, Zan?
Well, I mean, with Strigol, he's terrified of people's dreams becoming, portents to something that's actually going to happen. So when
makes
people tell
sense.
you they have like a really bad dream or a very realistic dream, that kind of spooks them a little bit.
Get the dream catcher.
Yeah.
Man,
I've
Strigol
got-
would hate me.
I'm sure, because he'd be like, I don't know what that
Strigol should
means,
be
but we need to
very
get you to an
concerned for
emergency
you.
room immediately.
Yeah, I got
I think
one
Kai.
for East Gun.
Oh, you got one? Go.
Yeah. Don't sweep your house at night.
Ooh, interesting.
That's one.
Okay.
There's
That
some
one I
would have-
practicality to that one.
That went over my head. Please explain.
In some cultures, it's believed that if you sweep your house at night, it'll bring bad luck.
Okay.
Screwed.
But it's kind of because it comes back from like way before like electricity and shit. So like if you're sweeping your house in the dark, you could sweep over something like, I don't know, a piece of flint that might hit a rock and start a fire, or you could sweep over an animal that was hiding in the dark and it'll attack you and stuff like that. So there's like the bad luck part of it has kind of just stuck with it, even though his technology has caught up. But yeah, in general, just sweeping in the dark, bad idea. Don't sweep at night, that kind of thing.
That sounds so charmingly like fucking 1800s witchcrafty, and I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I imagine a lot of it is too, like you said, it was because it was dark. So it's like,
Right.
oh, I dropped a ring and didn't know about it and swept it up into the trash because I couldn't
Right.
see.
Or even better, like when we didn't have electricity, everything was lit by candles. If you're sweeping by candlelight and you hit a table that a candle's on and the candle falls over, that could be a
Goodbye,
big
house.
problem.
Yeah.
Witchcraft. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah, witchcraft, right? It was the
So I
imp's
think
fault.
I think with Kai, the easiest one to go with would be some sailing ones. And Zan, you can fact check me on these, but based on the research that I've done, one would be he would never rename a ship. So if he was on a ship and people were like, well, we should come up with a different name. No, don't rename the ship.
Uh-huh.
No. And
Yeah,
no
I like that
bananas.
one.
No bananas on board.
But
Why?
you're gonna
Why?
get the gout.
It's potassium. I don't think fruits
I
were
so
a massive commodity.
I've at all of the sites that I looked up on like what some sailing superstitions were, a lot of them had not having bananas on board, which was weird. But if that's true, that would be one that he would probably follow because it's insane.
That sounds ridiculous enough to work, but I'm also just like, as someone who's a massive like golden age of piracy buff, I'm just sitting here scratching my head going, what
Yeah,
drunk asshole came up with this idea?
I don't
Why
know
do
if
you
it's
think they all
legit or
got
not, but
scurvy? They didn't bring oranges either. Like
yeah.
idiots.
Again, I saw it. I looked at multiple sites of like, oh, what are some sailing superstitions? Naming the boat was on a lot of them, but yeah, the banana ones was on a couple of different ones. I'm like, oh, maybe this is a thing.
That's so bizarre. Now I have to look that up.
Yeah. So,
Was there any logic behind the no bananas?
I don't know. I could try to probably Google it, but I don't know offhand. But I will get
Probably
back
just
to you on
because
that.
there's nothing to do with the peels.
I mean, they spoil in like a day, so
Here we go.
Especially
Some
exposed.
sailors back in the 1700s believed that bananas were bad luck because they would store hundreds of them in the same cargo hold as the rest of their rations and they would spoil.
Yeah.
yeah,
Because
bananas
bananas,
So right, so
bananas
right.
commit murder-suicide because of an
Yeah.
enzyme in them.
Yeah.
Well, older bananas definitely spoiled faster than current bananas do. Our bananas last way longer because they're all the same banana that was bred for longevity.
Here's
Okay.
another one.
Big banana, man.
Kai
Look it up.
would never say goodbye when leaving for a voyage because you're not supposed to say specifically goodbye.
Oh,
I
no,
think.
that's bad.
Yes, correct.
That's
Yeah,
fuck-
there are
that's
there are
fucking
specific
bad.
there are specific ways that you basically say good luck and stuff like that as
Until
somebody's
we meet
leaving.
again.
See
Yeah,
you soon.
but you would never say goodbye. Kai will never say goodbye in campaign when they're on a boat.
Boat.
Fair weather. Fair,
He's on a
fair
boat.
weather or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fair seas. Yep. Thank you, Zenlita. That's it. Fair seas.
fair seas and high tides, I think, or something like that.
Yes, correct.
Yep.
Yeah,
don't want to hit a reef.
yeah.
Or a
But yeah, no, really
sandbar.
good question.
Fish.
So this is actually, this one was, Vian wanted to ask this specifically to you, Monty, and they're really excited to have you here. They want to know, we've learned a few deities in C2, such as Midicina and Delvaria, and a couple of others. Has the Pantheon been expanded since Campaign 1, or had these deities already been created back then, but just didn't have a reason to be mentioned? For the rest of the cast, A while back, the party got holy water for some weird mass cult or something, and we know that holy water has different effects depending on the god it's associated with. What do you think it does? So, Monty, we'll start with you about the Pantheon.
So in my head, campaign 1 was heavily focused on Orin and still Havity and the dragon gods and a bunch of other things. So I really wanted to kind of like do a similar sort of expansion towards the other gods. Obviously, like I both pre-plan things, but also kind of like create things over time. I think it's there's a mixture there. For Medicina, I don't want to pull back the curtain too hard, but like I needed a god like Medicina, and then Medicina was made. Specifically in this campaign, weirdly enough, obviously we're going to see a lot of Necrecta. We're going to see probably a bit more Hoketh. We're also probably going to learn more about Yidea, actually, in this campaign too. That's probably like the third one that's going to be really interesting. I feel like I really want to expand on Yidea a little bit more, just to make Yidea a bit more unique in a sense. I feel like, yeah, Ilune and Orin definitely got a lot of attention in campaign 1. Orthok and Innstrock as well also got some attention, as well as Oriara for fucking certain. Oriara was another one that had a lot of attention. But the neat thing about the gods is the fact that they have mortal celestials. Like, they have these celestial beings that are quite powerful, but they're kind of what you would consider a demigod in a way. So I definitely like exploring that a bit more, because I think, like, how do I describe it? I liked Solar's situation, if that makes sense. Like, if you remember Solar in campaign 1, I'm like, I really like that concept, and I wanted to explore it a bit more in campaign 2. Like, the idea of these, like, like To and Ma, like these branching off entities that kind of exist between the material plane and the celestial and the cosmic, I think is quite fun. So, yeah, hopefully that answers the question. But obviously, like, we have the gods as they are, but then like what sort of subsets come out of them is very interesting. What's difficult though is there are certain things that I'm like, okay, I need this to exist, but I don't know which god it should belong to, because it kind of overlaps, and it makes it very difficult to be like, okay, is this more of a Vetreon thing, or is this more of a, Avon thing? I don't know. I have to kind of decide. There's really no reason things can't overlap, and you can't have similar things.
Look at the Greek pantheon.
Yeah. So, yeah, I definitely hope we learn more. I think obviously Necrecta, Hoketh, and Yidea are probably like the 3 main ones, but I feel like just like campaign 1, we'll learn more about other good and bad gods over time too as well. But in terms of how I make them, it's kind of like I kind of see like a god as like the trunk of a tree, and then the celestials as like branches of those trees, if that makes sense.
Nice. Any theories on what the holy water that we have might do?
I can't tell you because...
No, not you. I meant the cast. Any theories?
The cast, yeah, they can answer.
Yeah.
I'm going to use the bathroom. I will be right back, actually.
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, from my understanding, based on what they've done in the past, they're relatively ineffective to anything unless it's the polar opposite. So, when it comes to all the holy water I have of Orin, if it's not dealing with Noct, it's probably not going to be very efficient. With whatever it is that it's trying to do. So
I would love if like the Vetreon, I know it probably doesn't. I think you're probably right, Gaijin, in that it's just meant for like the counter of the opposite god. I would love if something like the Vetreon holy water gave you like a temporary +1 to your weapon for the duration of it being used. That'd be kind of cool. But that'd also be super powerful for just holy water. So I don't know what else it could be.
I'm
it's
inclined to agree as well that it's like the direct counter to their god, which means we have to play like we have to play like the Pokemon like type advantage game to try and figure out which one we can use against what.
That just makes me feel like the fucking holy water now acts like a gacha game's fucking elemental mechanic.
Well, we don't have to play the gacha. We already have the holy water. So.
Well, no, I know that, but I'm saying, like, here's the wheel of elements, and then there's 2 that are light and dark that just sit here for no reason.
Now I can just imagine holy water in anime girl form.
Well, Gaijin, you say that. I was gonna make a crack about how my answer would have been it quenches an extreme infernal thirst.
I want us to throw our holy water vials on the ground and have like a celestial of that god show up. Almost like a summon celestial.
Instead of summoning demons, you summon a fucking throne from heaven on
Yes.
high.
Let's fucking go.
Or you grab a vial of Orin holy water, throw it on the ground, and Milo just comes out
teleports
sleepily.
over.
No, he just comes in the room casually or sleepily. What do you want?
You called?
He's got to fucking fit the vodka in his hand. Like, why am I here? This is my day off.
Or even better, every celestial that's summoned this way shows up in like Sailor Moon outfits, so we just get Milo in a Sailor Sun outfit.
Good. I approve.
You're welcome,
So
Internet.
this is a question for all the players. This is from Dugga. They want to ask any guesses on what racing class the next Taylor the Pigeon Mancer in Campaign 2 is going to be. So maybe
If
a
we
similar
have
style.
one.
I don't know what
Yeah,
that is.
Yeah.
If
That's
Rebu
pure
could cast, I
speculation.
feel like it's a Rebu. Like we have Rebu with the axe beaks. If only he could like manifest them and use them to attack.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Are we talking like? Are we specifically asking ourselves, is this character going to be a vermin lord or just a person with animals? Because Rebu then fits that.
Yeah, I think Rebu is the closest that we have. But if we're gonna have like a caster that uses animals, I couldn't even speculate. Like there's
I'll
so
tell
you
you
could literally do
Eastbound.
anything.
Surprise.
I'll tell you this. If and when another game crops up in the future, I absolutely want to do like familiar druid. I want to play that. Like I want to be the Beastmaster druid because it's the
That was almost
is-
what I picked.
it was the one class in D&D that I was denied when I first started playing. So it's a giant loop around for me if I actually did pick that.
I'm
Oh.
honestly glad I didn't pick that for Eastgun because since we started in Eastern Vale, there would have been nothing to summon. Everything was dead.
I'm gonna just let you in, honestly. I want to be the guy who has an army of little tiny bats. That's me. I just
Oh
want
wow, nice.
All
I
I
just-
can think of is Bee Wizard at this point.
that.
Bees!
The swarm keeper.
I am the
Oh, boy.
Swarm Keeper.
I mean, that's a cool class. Like real talk.
It is a very cool class.
Yeah,
Mm.
It's scary.
yeah.
Freaking Summon
Uh,
Swarm is a scary spell.
So Glyphs has a question for the cast. If your character was not in an adventurous life, what do you think they'd be doing or pursuing, and why?
Making maps because he's a map maker. Next.
Well, there we
Gladiatorial
go.
bout.
I could see
Like
that.
boxing. Like literally boxing or MFA.
Chef school or seminary?
Also fitting. What about Strigal?
I think Strigal would probably be a teacher.
I also think Kai would be a teacher, or a pirate. One of the two.
Pirates are adventurers, so you can't do that.
No, like not like leave the ship kind of a pirate.
No, legally you can't.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Do you want to know another little small secret about why I made Gaius the way he is?
Yeah.
Because
Sure.
all my friends like wrestling, and I feel so ashamed for knowing almost next to nothing about it.
Oh.
So Gaius is me
All
an
you had to
attempt
do was
to learn.
ask.
Listen. I'd rather obtain that sort of thing through osmosis.
No, dude, we're gonna tie you in a chair and you're gonna watch
And that's exactly the reason
Royal
why
Rumble
I don't
22.
want to watch. But
and
and that, my friend, is the main reason why I didn't want to say that out loud, because I don't want. I understand why you guys like that shit, and it's like I don't want big fandom taking away from my meaning of what it means to enjoy a thing.
No, I get you. I mostly joke. I actually haven't watched a lot of wrestling in the last like 10, 12 years. So
Stone Cold ruined wrestling for me.
really
Ruined it?
Really?
You didn't like the Attitude Era, huh?
No, I fucking hated it.
Oh no! So were you like an '80s guy, and then when the Attitude Era came around, you're like, "Oh, this is raunchy and
okay,
not my
so
style."
let me tell you, the peak of heel turn for me was when Tatanka sold out to the $1 Million Man.
Oh,
That should tell you how old I am.
man.
yeah.
No, well, but also that was
That's
a great
classic,
angle.
though.
Yeah, that was
You could
classic.
never do Tatanka nowadays because you would get
No.
canceled, but
Oh,
I do remember
absolutely.
that angle.
Or Yokozuna and all of them.
Fucking
Yokozuna was a Samoan that they made Japanese.
That was
Bro,
Yokozuna.
bro.
Was so
Oh.
bad.
Let me show my age. Doink the clown.
Oh hell yeah! And Dink.
That's the
let's
same
go.
era, dude. Yeah,
Doink and
absolutely.
Dink, yeah.
I want out.
Yeah.
No, you're
sorry.
trapped forever.
No.
Monty, there was a second half to that question. They're curious if you've played Assassin's Creed and if that had any influence on the deaths of the first couple antagonists.
What? Death
Have you ever played
what?
Assassin's Creed? And if so, did it influence the way that the characters died, the antagonists
The antagonists in what?
of campaign 2?
Yeah, I'm assuming they mean like Mira and
Yeah. Like some of the people that we've defeated.
Okay, so
Like the
so
king
Monty,
and-
get this.
I'm
in,
really
in,
confused.
in Assassin's Creed.
So you haven't played Assassin's Creed?
yeah.
Well, I have played Assassin's
have?
Creed. Yeah,
Okay.
I played the first one and I played the second one. And
Okay,
then
so you-
Okay.
only got
so you-
partially through the second one.
So you know how when you get a kill and then like there's a cutscene where everything but you and the person's there and then they like
Yes.
exchange words
Oh,
Because like Kai had that thing with Mira, and then like it also
right,
happened again later
right,
on.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that honestly. So no,
There you go.
I completely forgot about that, to be honest. So, I mean, I mostly wanted a one-on-one with characters and the enemies. I think that was kind of a nice little thing. I won't say as to why, but I just kind of wanted to do that.
Mhm.
But I did not even think about Assassin's Creed, and if I did, it was 100% subconscious, if even that.
hmm
So.
The next question is from Shahalem, so of course it's about lore. This is for Bosco or Connor, so I guess I got you. Did you have any input in creating Brutus, or did Monty just take your backstories and run with them? I guess I'm asking, are you a bit surprised by what we've learned about him so far? So the basic process, what everybody knows how we created the characters, is I pitched the brother thing to Connor. Connor kind of took that and ran with it and built Otho's backstory. We fit Kai into the backstory. And then we did work with Monty to, like, explain how our father, who wasn't named at the time, would have gone about things. And then Monty kind of filled in a lot of blanks. Monty did most of the creation, but did base it off what we gave her initially. So we do know a lot about Brutus. We do know what he looks like. We do have more information than the players or you guys. However, we don't necessarily know everything. So Monty's obviously probably flushed out Brutus and done stuff that we as characters might not know that he's doing. Like, for example, whatever he's doing right now, we have no idea because we haven't seen him. So in that regard, she's kind of taken it and ran with it. I hope that answers your question. Friendship optional. Great name. This is for the cast. If your character was to align themselves with a god, which of them do you think they would follow? Well, why don't you tell us, Gaijin? Who would you follow?
Necrecta, hands down.
Nice.
Easy peasy.
Nailed it. Boom.
I guess Vetrion.
Okay. Zan, what about you?
For Stragal, he does follow Nerazmun, but he also pays a lot of tribute to Medicina, especially after, witnessing what Aya did.
Hell yeah. Iskan. Hey, Lulu.
He's just like holding up a fucking like
Holding up a skull.
yeah, a skull on strings. Shaking it.
There's
I
a
don't think
small
this is-
guy next to him. Hum num shavai, hum num shavai, hum num.
Perfect. Well done, Mark.
Can I chime
Excellent.
in on this one a little bit?
Yeah, by all means.
If I as who I am right now were to pick one, and this might change in like a couple months, I feel like I would probably lean Ilene or Lysen. Those are my two.
Ooh. Lyzend is a good one because we don't know a lot about them.
I would
Ilene
pick
also be
Lyzend if I
interesting.
knew anything about Lyzend, but
Yeah.
I feel like we'll learn as we go on. We've already
Ilene's-
gotten the hints.
I love Ilene because Ilene is basically like self clarity. Like it's all about like
Mhm.
being who you are and doing the right thing.
If you were gonna sit to ask me like personally which one I would personally want, I want the dumb luck one.
Oh yeah, Telentura.
Dylan.
Oh,
Yeah,
Telentura, yes.
On a real life Cressito level, Telentura is mine.
See, in real life, I think Telentura hate me because my luck is so awful.
That's true. You haven't paid enough of a tribute. All All right. Oh, so this I don't think this is much of a spoiler because it's kind of already been hinted at. Kai wouldn't follow anybody for religious purposes, and I'm sure we'll get into that at some point. I'm sure Milo and Kai will have a very interesting conversation at some point in the next 100 episodes. Your conscience for the cast. What is one piece of intrigue that you've encountered in Campaign 2 that you most want to explore right now? We'll start with you, Mark.
Don't start with me. I had to bust out my notes. Go to someone else. Hold on.
Oh my gosh. What about you, Zito? Anybody got one off the top of their head? Zito, Gaijin?
Giants, man. Fucking like, why did Dad tell me I got blood of giant and now I'm a satyr and what the fuck is happening? What? Wherefore? How? And why giant?
Excellent use of those words in that particular order. Gaijin, you got anything?
Not quite, because so much of Milo revolves around the idea of being out in the world and not only being helpful, but also trying to help unsmudge the whole, Oran clergy trying to take over the world kind of thing. But none of that's really come to pass. I don't know if it ever will. So I'm still on hold for that one, honestly.
Mark, do you got one?
It's tough because there's so much I want to know more about.
I know. You got to pick one, though.
I want to know more. You just Phil Collins me?
I
want to know.
But can you show me,
Can you
Mark?
pick one?
I can't go back.
To the strangers like me.
Oh,
Swear to
yes.
God, I swear
Yes.
to God.
Yes.
You're all the worst. No, I really want to know what's going on with Athel. I really want to know what's up with Ogre Wife Eleanor. I'm glad we're exploring what's going on with Aya because that piqued my interest right away. And honestly, the Stitched Sister is something that I've been really interested in as well.
That I'll save you the trouble. That's Kai's. It's Stitch Sister.
I'm aware.
for Kai.
I'm not.
Yeah.
This isn't about my characters. This is about me personally.
Oh,
I can like things that my character has no involvement in.
unacceptable. That's not meta. It's not.
No, but
that's not even the word.
Expected.
It's. Oh, I don't like.
I'm gonna separate you two on the opposite sides of the room.
Why don't you answer the question instead, Zan? I want. Zan, answer the question.
I mean, for Strigall, a lot of it is tied already into the story, right? Obviously the Aya bit was super intriguing for Strigall to want to get into, but above game, I've wanted to find Orestes Long and figure out everything that he knows, the moment we met him. And I also am very curious about Gaius's history and backstory. So that's me personally.
Very nice. I didn't skip
You're right
anybody,
there,
right? We all got that one?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right, cool.
What about you, Monty? What are you most interested in unveiling?
Oh, I
my
can't really
lord.
obviously say because I'm the DM, but oh honeys, you got a big storm coming. That's all.
Oh yeah, let's go. I like big storms.
There are some secrets that I have, not to fucking posture myself as I'm a genius. But there are some things that oh my god. I mean, I've said it 1,000 times. There's some shit I've written for this campaign that is equal parts might not happen because of just choices, but I really hope does happen just because I'm I want those really big oh my god moments, I think.
The DM dilemma.
Yeah, really. Obviously I can't say what I'm super excited for because I feel like it gives away things, but I am genuinely really excited for some characters to have dialogue with certain NPCs. I'll say that much. There are some characters where I'm just I really, 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 really want certain player characters to interact with them because they'll be fantastic foil for for you guys. I feel like the dialogue you'll have with the these certain characters will be really fucking interesting, to say the least. And Arkolf can attest. I hang out with Arkolf and I'm oh man, I hope this player ask questions of this character because if they do, it'd be so fucking good. And I just sit there and be like waiting and just slobbering at the mouth, waiting and hoping. But you know, I get excited for that. Honestly, I think that's my favorite part. It's just like there are some NPCs that have interesting outlooks on things, which I think for player characters will be very interesting to learn about. And there's just like there's some locations and there's just stuff that I'm like, I hope you guys are gonna like it. That's all I can say. I get really excited about it.
As you should. It's your baby.
I want some
You'd
twists,
be worried if
man.
you weren't excited about
Yeah,
it.
it's like,
There's gonna be some cool shit and maybe some fun twists and interesting conflicts. Moral dilemmas. It's everything. It's gonna be good. I'll see my
Well, heck of a
wrestling,
question,
I'm
your
cleaning up.
conscience. You got a bag full of goodies there. Let's see. I think most of us could probably answer this. This one is from Stropey, and we're going to start with Zito because it's his forte. For the cast, what would you say, other than your own published material, is the best homebrew content, in your opinion? Zito, the floor is yours.
Cobalt Press, Middle Finger to Vecna, which are the Mage Hand Press folks. Benjamin Huffman's work, DM Tuz. DM Tuz has some good stuff. What I'm trying to think like if there's any like other third party material I really enjoy, but I unless I can think of anything otherwise. Oh no, there was this one person on Unearthed Arcana Reddit that made an entire book based on bug player options called Insectopia. I don't know who the artist and or the writer is, but I know that that's the name of the book, and it's fucking awesome, and it's free. So I highly recommend if you're ever gonna like just fucking dick around on Reddit for anything D&D related, do yourself a favor and find Insectopia.
Let's see.
I have
Zan
an
or
answer.
Monty. Yeah, go for it.
I have an answer myself. Obviously, I don't use a whole lot of homebrew stuff, except for unless it's my own. However, I've been really enjoying Griffin Saddlebag. I really like the stuff from that, as well as Cobalt Press. I've been actually delving into Cobalt Press in lieu of official monsters, which has been lacking.
Yes,
So
you finally get it.
I get it now. Yeah, so I actually have quite a few of them right now. So they're very nice books. I highly recommend getting the hardcover ones, though. I just find that they're easier to go through.
Hey, Monty, pick up Heroes of Midgar.
Heroes of Midgar? I'll look into it.
Yes. It is Cobalt Press, so yeah.
You got it. Also, I know it's not really homebrew, but Bosco, your friend did like a series of books and stuff. Like the
yes.
Ultimate RPG Guide. I can't remember exactly what they're called because I lend them out a lot, but those books are really good too, and I really like them. But that's me.
He's a very, very talented writer and dungeon master.
If you hear any crashing or bumping, I'm just cleaning up my space because I have to move some stuff.
The deed is done. Gaijin, have you messed around with any homebrew at all?
I mean, I've made some. I've not really looked at too many other people's
Oni
books,
and
but,
the Tanuki, you've made a bunch.
And Dakapa. I need to make more. It's been months since I've done it.
So then I can stalk you from afar, even though I already know you, and I can just slip you a DM and be like, "Yo, what about this though?"
Yeah, and I'll be like, "Yeah," and then I'll do it.
No, you won't.
I might. You don't know.
Maybe.
I like Zito stuff because I like that it's because I like that a lot of it goes against the grain. Because the one thing that pissed me off about 3 and 3.5 was the complete lack of options. So whenever I see anything that's like dude, my favorite concept art that you did for one of your classes was just small lad and there's a cannon and it's full of axes and maces and other shit like that, and it's like, I wish I had this when 3 and 3.5 was out. That
is literally a ranger subclass that lets you fire into melee with a cone damage. That's the whole gimmick.
It's like, I wish I had stupid shotguns. in freaking 3 and 3 Revenge. So anything that pushes that kind of bar, I don't mind it when people just kind of add to what is established, but that's not my flair. So yeah.
All right.
Mark, Zan, you guys got any homebrew that you like to use?
I don't dip into homebrew a lot outside of the stuff that I make myself, which I've not really released anything publicly, so no one needs to take my word that any of it is good. But
I'm staring respectably.
in general, I don't know. There's one really obscure guy named Christopher Zito who occasionally releases some things that I find really interesting.
Guy sounds
Very
like a
good sense of balance for the stuff that he adds. So, but outside of that, I don't really peek around that much.
Oh, you guy.
Really, Mark? You didn't see my funny yokai stuff? How dare
I
I'm offended.
saw it, but I haven't had the chance.
Oh,
to
you
look
ignored it.
to
Oh,
be-
what a
Yeah.
jerk.
To be fair, Gaijin, I never shut the fuck up about my stuff. That's the
And
thing.
also, I had to learn about Zito's stuff to play in his one shot. So
yeah, like I
was
kind of
forced to read
Yeah,
through it, and I liked it, but I hadn't had time to look at any of it
Gun-
before that.
Gun to
That's
the
fair.
head.
Well, I mean,
Whatever.
I mean,
You won't come do weather magic with me, so
I would be happy to do weather magic with you, Mark, if
Uh.
you let me know a little bit more ahead of time.
well, I'm sorry, I don't control when the rain might happen.
Ladies,
Well,
you're
I
both
thought you
pretty.
were a meteorologist. I thought that
Nope,
was your
I'm-
superpower.
ladies,
Yeah, I can
ladies,
only,
you're
I
both
Opposite-
can only
pretty.
do science about
opposite ends
meteors,
of the
guys,
room.
You know this.
You're both weather, okay?
No, I'm not weather.
Ladies, you're both weather.
Zan?
I mean, Cobalt Press is obviously like legendary within the homebrew community at this point. I do like Ghostfire Gaming a good bit. I will say, because similarly, not only for the one shot that Zito did on Unexpectables, but also the one time I DM'd on Unexpectables for the Carol campaign, we were all hanging out after, just talking about roleplay and stuff. And Zito sent me a treasure trove of his stuff, and like, it was so inspired and so passionately given. Even the smallest details were very well fleshed out, not just mechanically, but they just seemed fun. And yeah, so like, yeah, I like Zito, but his work I think is legitimately very good.
I'm doing my best. Join
Damn.
my Patreon.
Well, your best is very good.
You know what?
I put
It's
so much work into this shit, man.
Zito.
It shows. It shows.
Since we love you so much, this next question is just for you, but it has
Oh,
nothing to
God.
do with D&D. But because Contrast took time out of their day to ask it, I'm going to ask you, Zito. Why do people dislike Staten Island?
Oh, it's the landfill.
Boom. I knew it'd be quick.
Well, it's the landfill, and it's also the Vanderbilt story, where Staten Island basically got fucking condemned to being just a road between Jersey and New York because some jerk off just wanted to profit off of everyone.
And there you go. And that's why.
Yep.
So Toxin with a rather interesting question. You only have to answer half if you're more comfortable. But they want to know, in your opinion, what C2 NPC is your favorite and least favorite? If you only want to do half, that is totally fine. I don't know. Let's toss this one to, I guess, not Mark, because he always needs a minute. Zan.
Shut up, I do.
Oh no. Favorite and least favorite NPC.
Favorite and least favorite. If you only want to do your favorite, that's totally fine. If you're like, I don't
Well, it's
really have
difficult
one.
'cause,
I
like
don't.
I was behind the scenes on a lot of getting to experience Hearthland before obviously I joined. So there are a lot of Hearthland people that I really like. So I'm gonna try to avoid them the best I can. But I really, really do like Heather. And on top of that, as far as who I don't like, man, the people I don't like, I feel like I'm meant to not like. Like I don't like
That's
Orestes.
the camp I'm in. Yeah,
Yeah.
all the people I don't like are the bad guys. Like,
sorry to give such a easy answer there, but that's me.
I will go out on a limb. I will say that as far as my favorite, I think Winona has been my favorite. And kind of the contrast that I'd say if I have to pick a least favorite, I'm going to stay away from the people you're supposed to hate. The Delvarians haven't clicked with me. A lot of those NPCs have just, and again, you're supposed to not like a lot of them. Like when somebody walks up to you and basically calls you a punk and tries to punk you out, yeah, probably not going to like them. But yeah, for a lot of reasons in my brain, the Delvarians haven't clicked with me. But Winona, who is also kind of abrasive, but like in a playful way, I've really enjoyed pretty much every scene that she's had, especially the ones that she's had with like Iskan or Kai, or just messing with them on the ship by casting Fly. Like she's really endearing.
Yeah.
Gaijin, you got
Winona
one?
and Heather are definitely in my top 3, but since those have already been said, I'm also going to say that why now am I blanking on his name? The Ocean Lord that we met, who
More specific.
who was fond
Aslamir Harland?
Harlan, yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked him. I thought it was a very nice, like, casually powerful character who also was just kind of like a real person when he was talking with the Valentinius brothers, and just like really went out of his way to help us out, and just generally real grounded character that kind of took me by surprise. As far as least favorites, again, staying away from the people I think we're not supposed to like, Kaliko, only because it was too good. He was too perfectly like rich merchant, and I wanted to punch him in his stupid bug face.
Gaiji, did you have one?
Does it have to be season 2?
They asked campaign 2, but if you would rather do campaign 1, I'm not going to stop you.
So it's hard for me for campaign 2 because I don't know. Like, Winona's really fun, but between I just feel like we haven't been able to spend a lot of time with them comparatively. So I feel like if I say one thing or another, it would be kind of unfair. Because we also, I don't know. It's hard because in this campaign, we're meeting so many new people so often. It's hard to feel grounded. That's why I kind of hesitate to say one way or another, like which one's best and which one's worst. So because we don't, it feels unfair to judge right now.
Because we don't really have a sweet dragon where a bunch of NPCs always were, and you could always talk to them. Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, hit me with your campaign 1s then.
I will say Doros is probably the best NPC.
I will
purely because it is a character who has only said like 2 sentences ever.
But you still know, you still get what he means about everything.
Yes. You know exactly what his personality type is. You know him as a character. So I thought it was really clever that Monty was able to do that. As far as least favorite, honestly, and we're not supposed to like her, but Mel, because she fucking fleeced us.
Hey, that's a 2. That's technically a campaign 2. So good. Yeah. Good segue.
We haven't run into her. We don't know how much more twisted she is, or less twisted, or whatever. But Mel was such a great. I'm not gonna lie here. Mel was the best twist villain I have ever seen, like in any media. Period. I have rarely been fooled by twist villains, but that one was a doozy. There you go.
There you go. Anybody else got one? Monty, do you have any favorites to play or not play in campaign 2?
Campaign 2. Gosh, it's hard.
Yeah. It is.
Obviously, for me, the problem is I know too much. Like, I know exactly what's going on in their heads.
You don't have to say why you like them.
Oh, hold on. I'm going to win some easy points. Wark.
Boom.
Wark's
not an NPC. No. Wark is not an NPC. Wark is Kai's familiar and is basically just the White Ranger for us.
He's the mascot of the show.
Yeah,
He's
no, that doesn't count.
Wark is Saba. Oh god.
Wark is Saba. Yeah, there you go.
Talking sword.
He's part of the party. Wark is main cast, and I will hear none of it.
I like the Outsider. I really enjoy him.
I mean,
he's
fair.
really nice.
Cake is always delicious.
Yeah, I think the character I was most concerned about was Empty. Like, because I felt like they could be very polarizing for pretty obvious reasons. I like Winona as well. I'm surprised people liked her as much as they did, because I just thought she was a little too very free-spirited. Heather I like as well. I think Heather is just like a person of her environment, where she's very friendly, but also is just like, you know, she takes pleasure from having foreigners come in and basically seeing their reactions to things. I think that's something that she likes doing. Hawk and his little band of friends are, I don't like them as much because they're kind of frat guys, and I'm not a huge fan of frat
Yeah,
dudes,
they really are.
But they really are. But at the same time, I feel like, they're young. It makes sense for them to kind of behave the way they behave. Because I'm like, yeah, they're young. They're figuring out what they want to do, and that's just kind of the way they are. But they'll be dicks, but they'll also get your back when it comes down to it, like a true frat bro.
And that's kind of the reason why I like the Delvarians and everyone. Like, I feel like I'm the only guy out here because I'm just like, the Delvarians just fucking remind me way too much of my friends from high school. And I'm just like, I love this mentality.
You're here for it.
We're like, I'm here for we're jerk offs to each other, but in all honesty, we actually care.
Yeah, genuinely.
That's
care.
what I think won me over on those guys, especially, is that scene where they just walked up and silently were like, "No, don't mess with Strigol."
Like, what won me over on the Delvarians was when we actually got to see how they live, and they actually have their own sense of hospitality on top of all that. Like, we were not allowed to pay for food. They were like, no, you're eating with us. You're telling us your stories. It's like, that felt good.
Yeah, there are no inns in Delvaria. It doesn't exist. Ganjifa Strix is the only inn that has inns in Delvaria. It's just not a thing. And they're just like, oh, you need a place to stay? We have rooms, you come stay. Like, you don't charge people for that. It's just like, It's just part of it. You just invite people into your home.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to think of
some sort of fist collectivism.
In terms of villains, because we have a few, Wormtongue is fun to be, but he's a shit. Like,
you love to hate him.
I think I don't want to scare you guys, but the character that I think I am the most scared of is the Black Goat.
Look, Bonnie. You can tell us. All right, we know it's the Gengar guy in the intro. I'm scared of it.
Yeah,
now.
honestly,
that was not my creative choice. Leave me alone.
I've been so scared about finding Gengar on this campaign.
I wanna find Gengar because I love his character design, but goddamn it, he's got a punchable fucking face.
He also knows Dream Eater. Like, that shit's scary.
I can't say anything. I cannot. There's one character I'm gonna fucking hate, but they haven't shown up yet. So they might not show up. I don't know. But anyway, I digress. I don't want to say more than that.
No comment.
Yeah, no comment.
I guess if I had to put answers down, I fucking absolutely loathe the character. I forget her name, and I'm so sorry. But it's the gnome cleric lady.
Oh.
Gertrude?
Yeah, Gertrude.
I despise her attitude so much in real life. Like, that kind of person.
That's valid.
I can't fucking respect you. If you start that shit on me on day one, frame one, it's going to be incredibly difficult for me to ever give you any semblance of fucking, like, respect.
I just want to say I appreciate that you said I appreciate that you said day one, frame one, because I can tell you're a fighting game fan, and I just appreciated that terminology.
I mean, like, if anyone who watches the YouTube channels listens to me fucking say shit when we're in fights, God, I hope it's apparent.
It sure is, but I guess I love that vernacular.
Hell yeah. Fucking, look, there's another character in the show, and that does the exact same thing, but actually has enough character for it to follow through, and that's Lynn.
I think Lynn has a really good reason to be as jaded as she is.
Oh, she does. But you know what? She at least fucking said that, you know? Like, her actions make sense, and her emotions or lack thereof are valid, not only because of, like, her situation, but because of the situation that's around her. And the fact that she showed emotion around a bunch of people who are actually, like, here to do a job and actually are helping out, and she's, like, warming up to them because, good job, good turn. Like, okay, thank you. At least you're coming around to the idea that what we're doing is validated. Whereas the other one, I'm just like,
well, Gert did come around after our fight.
He did, but it took way too long. And this is coming from the undead lady who we didn't see for like a good 30 episodes. Yeah. And the NPCs that I actually do like, because I liked the goblins, because I've never in all of D&D ever had a set of characters that flipped outside of game perspective on a character I played as so hard that even it fucking like made the DM go, wait, what? Because because Monty, you gotta be fucking real with me here. You thought I was gonna fucking murder hobo every single one of them, right?
I expect you guys to kill everything. That's kind of, I feel like, a natural thing to believe.
That's fair, especially since I'm the fighter. But I don't.
But we set up commerce.
Yeah.
I mean, this is always the thing with me, and I've told this to Therapod and other people. I'm like, you will in your head think of all the different outcomes for things, but there will always be the surprise third option you never considered.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, I did. I planned for that session for you guys. I'm like, okay, they very like because your language and the way you guys talk before that session, because above board we all talk after the sessions are over usually. You guys, your language very much suggested that you're gonna fucking kill these guys, and I'm like, all right. But then things changed once we got to it, and I was fine too. I adjusted. It was totally fine. And
Right on.
yeah.
I don't know. Like,
The only time I would ever be like, I can't believe you did that, is it was like a clearly innocent character, and you just blitzed them for no reason. I'd be like, oh, okay.
And alignment change.
But here's the thing, is that especially when I said this for Gaius, and I've said this before, and there's a lot of people who actually don't take it to heart because it's kind of like the massive key core defining like character, like not, I guess, flaw and or boon to Gaius. Gaius has said multiple times, I don't kill for fun. I fight. I don't fight for killing. I fight for sport. And that is in through every sort of like asset of him outside of fighting.
I mean, fair. Let's see. Oh, so this next one is a couple of individual questions for each of us. This one is from Tamobomb. They were saying, quote, I am shy. I was a shy green to ask the big questions, but now I'm ready. So this one is for Zito. Would Gaius be an MMA fighter, a boxer, or a wrestler? And if so, what would his stage name be?
Yes.
What would his stage name be?
I'd have to come back at you with something in Giant because I feel like he would play with that. But
That's fair.
Yeah, I'd have to come back at you with something in Giant. I can give you an answer, but I would much rather give it to you in universe language. So if you got another question, go to it. I'll give you the answer once I translate it.
I like the answer of yes. That's just a stage name.
Yeah, that is it. Yeah. That is a Gaius answer.
Introducing,
and hey, Gaijin,
yes.
Gaijin, thank you for popping in because this next one's for you. What other cleric domains did you have in mind when creating Milo?
I didn't actually, because Milo was so rooted in the idea of goofing around, with post Eclipse Orin. There was talk at one point of having a cleric of war, very briefly, but yeah, it obviously didn't go that way.
Yeah, I can believe it. The next one is for Connor and myself, so I guess I'll tackle this one. But Connor, you're here in spirit because I see you typing. When creating Otho and Kai, did the idea of them being long-lost brothers ever come up? I don't believe we ever talked about them being long-lost brothers, like diverged then came back together. We talked about a lot of stuff. I just don't believe that was one of them, and I look forward to them revealing more about their upbringing. But I don't believe that was one of the things that we discussed. But good question. And finally, for Mark, what would Iskon's favorite star, constellation, or planet be?
So that is a tough one because he's very new to learning about stars and constellations. It wasn't something that he really was into before. But I will say, and sorry to anyone who's not caught up on the last few recent episodes, but Ilane's spoon was pointed out to him, and I think he would really like that. Specifically, and this is going to sound really unromantic, but like specifically because it helps determine north, and the idea that like a star system that's detached from the land can help people on the land figure out where they're going is very interesting and attractive to him as someone who wants to map out the entire continent. So, yeah, I would say Ilinay's Spoon is probably, for now anyway, his favorite constellation.
All right, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Dwarvish, here's how it translates. Kinnear Vernark. In common tongue, Kidstone.
Ooh, I like it.
I
Kidstone.
love Kidstone.
That's a. It sounds like a detective name.
Hell yeah.
Kidstone, Private Eye.
Kidstone. And in this corner, weighing somewhere between 200 and 800 pounds.
Depending on whether he uses giant spikes. Oh man.
Someone in chat just said Kid Rock.
No,
Fuck it, we
I mean,
ball. Fuck it, we ball.
yeah. And Tama Bomb, I'll come back to that group question later. I want to get all your individual ones done if we have time at the end, but I want to get in as many as possible.
I unfortunately do need to dip. I am so sorry.
You got to dip?
I'm crashing. I was up at 7 today, which is very.
Oh God, go sleep, Gaijin. We
I
appreciate
was
you being
personally
here.
going. I was personally going to ask if I could dip on like after 2 more questions because I only got
Yeah.
2 hours of sleep last night.
You guys can dip whenever, by all means.
All right. Well, you all have fun. Thank you for having me.
Bye,
Later,
Gaijin.
dude.
Bye, Gaijin.
I can't wait to stalk his DM's guild stuff. I mean, hi.
Right.
I
Let me
said
see if there's
bye,
any.
but my mute button was on.
No. Let me see if there's any specific questions for you, Zito, real quick. Also, shout out to Connor, good old Distortion Devil, who is answering questions via text in the
Yeah,
Discord.
dude.
Like,
Yeah.
the dude doesn't take a day off, even though he's supposed to be having a mini little
He's
vacation
probably
getaway.
so full of like deep fried Twinkies or whatever. right now.
Probably.
He's just like,
yeah. that and funfetti cake.
Okay. Here's an interesting question. This one is from Navy SEAL Cadet. For Zito, I'm pretty sure you've answered this, but what inspired Gaius? Was it a certain satyr in the desert trying to create a new Fey god in TFS at the table?
No, not at all.
So what did inspire
nothing-
him?
Nothing I create ever, like, okay, so I just want people to understand this. Unless it's like fucking nail on the head with a hammer, like blunt, like in your face, 9 times out of 10, I don't dip into any of my previous work that isn't like stuff I'm currently writing, because I like to like move forward with my stuff, and fiction is more of my jam now because I feel like writing was kind of like I've said before. I wrote writing when I was 16, and it shows. And I'm like, I could write so much better now, and that's what fiction is for me. So anything I make going forward, if it has TFS on the at the table, anything, it's probably gonna be coincidental. But so again, what was the quick question again? I'm sorry, like just to
just what the inspiration was, and if it was inspired by that.
Spite for people who kept thinking that I could do nothing but be angry characters like Task.
Gotcha. So nothing to do with TFS.
Absolutely nothing to do with TFS. Gaius was literally just me being like, "Oh, you motherfuckers don't think I can act? Okay, bet."
I'm seeing if there's any other good ones just for you, so we could send you out with a bang. Maybe if we just do a group one. No. All right, let's find a good joint one for you to go out on. Oh, this is kind of interesting. So this is also from King Kiwi. For everybody, as the new rulers of the country of Eastonvale, what are some policies you will be rolling out in the future? And go ahead, Zito.
Prima Nocta. No.
What is Gaius rolling out in the future? Are we getting like a militia training program?
Walks up at the table with like a fucking battle axe, throws it into the table, sits down in the war chair, like hooves up on the table, Ikari pose fingers, gleam in his eye like a fucking anime villain. Every Thursday will be ice cream day.
Excellent. Already approved. Democracy wins, and I'm guaranteeing you we have at least 3 votes.
All right. Anybody else want to chime in with what they might have as a policy for Eastonville going forward? Does Iskan want to have a map making class?
Well, I was gonna say honestly, Iskan would be interested in establishing a schooling system. Maybe not compulsory, but like a way for people to come, because we've encountered a lot of like smaller towns on the outskirts and stuff. Obviously, everyone was dead, so he doesn't know what like schooling is like over there. But some kind of schooling system, maybe like a public college or something that people can go to learn more about things.
Yeah, it'd be really crazy if you like hired Strigal as a teacher because he said he might be a teacher if he wasn't adventuring. That's crazy.
I mean, maybe if he wanted to come and teach.
I mean,
Man,
that'd
all
be
these
crazy
squares
if he
make
was
a
just
circle.
always around, like in the future in Eastonville. That'd be crazy.
Don't call me
Zan,
square
is there
behind
anything-
my back, Cito. Say it to my face.
Okay, fine, motherfucker. All these squares make a circle.
Thank you.
Damn. Zan, is there anything that you would think Eastonville might need, even if Strigal doesn't personally do it, if you're starting a new country?
I mean, if you're starting a new country, it would be genuinely very helpful just to understand where magic sits, what's legal, what's not.
Mm-hmm.
At least in a fantasy setting.
That makes sense. Necromancy is legal. So yeah,
what was
Zito,
that?
do you want another one, or is that good?
You can give me one more, because then after
All
that
right,
I'll
let's
fail.
see. Let's see what we got.
If it's general, then go ahead. Like, I don't fucking need to have a specific one thrown at me.
okay. Let's try to find a good one. Do.
Necromancy is the ice cream magic now.
There we go.
I bring
If-
this
if
theory
I had-
back to life.
If I had to
Okay.
give like a real ass answer, Gaius has no fucking head of politics whatsoever. So
This was the next one on the list anyway, so I wasn't
yeah.
going to skip over them. Almageist wants to know, for all, do you have any monsters you would like to fight down the line? Like, I imagine Gaius 1v1 an actual giant or something along those lines.
I'm leaning forward in my seat.
Mm-hmm.
See, the problem is that now that Monty has opened the floodgates to saying that she's been using kobold press monsters, I'm like, what in that book do I want to fight? Because now I have to sit here and go, wait a minute, how many of the creature codex does she own?
I mean, good
I
question.
assume
Maybe you might
all
have
of
to
them.
help her buy more.
I can't assume all of them, because if I say a random monster then from a book that she doesn't have, it's like, all right, well, this just fell on
Maybe
deaf
she'll buy the
ears.
book.
Shit, you right.
Yeah. Put it out there. Put it in the universe.
Get back to me on that. I'm getting my books out.
Oh, you pulled a Mark. Hey, Mark, what about you?
I really want our group to encounter an actual mimic. That's what I would like, because I think it would be an interesting encounter for all of us. And I know that's like, oh yeah, the classic monster, but like genuinely, I don't think our group would know how to handle a mimic right away. And I think it would be an interesting encounter.
I never shy away from the classic monster. I mean, you guys fought a gelatinous cube, to be fair.
By the way, I
Mhm.
love that you did that. And the way that you did that fight was so unique and fun and terrifying. It's so hard nowadays to make a gelatinous cube seem terrifying, but the fact that we were like trapped and there was this never-ending clock counting down to when we were just going to be disintegrated was genuinely stressful. So I give you a lot of props for that gelatinous cube encounter. That was really good.
Oh my fucking god, I forgot. I literally just opened the book, and now I'm like, this makes way too much fucking sense.
We're all ears.
Creature Codex, number 1, page 170, the Ghost Dragon.
Oh. Okay. Because a ghost horse wasn't enough. Now you have to step it up to ghost
No,
dragon.
I have to punch the undead. The ephemeral undead.
Can you punch the ghost dragon?
We'll punch it together. I feel like Kai
Let's
and Gaius
see.
could punch the undead and get a lot of
Incorporeal
cathartic
movement,
release.
blah, 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 blah. Reading this, multi-attack, claw, blah, 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 blah. Large undead, any alignment. It does not specify that physical attacks do not work. Wait, hold on. I'm wrong. Damage resistance, blah, 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 blah. Damage resistances of... Okay, so it resists physical. It doesn't negate physical.
It's not immune. Okay, you can.
So
punch
you
the
just need
ghost.
a
It's
magical
not
weapon.
immune.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. Xana, is there anything that you'd like to fight in the campaign while you're around? Maybe something you don't see a lot as a DM.
Zan is dead.
Zan is dead.
The Ghost
I
Rider
am on
god.
mute and forgot.
You are
it's
mute.
It's a little difficult for me because I get Dungeon of the Mad Mage on Thursdays, so I get a lot of the classic monsters all of the time. That being said, I am a absolute sucker for fighting Minotaurs. I adore that shit. And I am a
Yes.
huge sucker for any bridge fight. Any fight that's on a bridge, I am there for it, no matter what we're fighting. But that's
Monty
me.
had a fight on a bridge. She killed a kid.
You're
Nice.
playing that song. You're playing that song, aren't you? Battle on Big Bridge, aren't you? You're playing
Yes.
that.
Always.
Good.
Nice.
That's me.
Heck of a question. Monty, is there anything that you potentially would like to see as a player, or something you don't see a lot that you might like to see?
Player.
Yes.
Oh God. That's hard. That's really tricky.
I know. That's why I asked. Our
Um,
journalist.
I know for me
I asked the
personally
hard-hitting
running, and I'm
questions.
not saying this specifically for Unexpectables, but just in
Mhm.
general, I really want to run more dragons because I have so many dragon minis, and I just want to slam them on the table and use them, man. So hard. And-
That would be the thing I want to fight. I want to fight actual dragons.
yeah, dragons are fun to fight.
They're
I
great.
guess in game too, fighting a dragon would be super duper cool. I'd really
Yeah.
like to have an actual. I don't think I've ever had like just a, classic dragon fight besides.
What about the
like-
red dragon that we fought in campaign 1?
Well, I meant
where
for
it was,
me.
like, all-
I want to fight a
Oh,
dragon.
you haven't
guys-
fought one.
Yeah.
Oh,
I haven't-
yeah.
I fought like kind of like baby dragons, which is fine, but I'm like I want to
Mhm.
fight like a big boy dragon. You know what I mean? Like a big grown
Yeah.
one that's like actually incredibly terrifying. I think that'd be really fun. But
Monty's done dungeon, but I haven't done dragon yet.
yeah.
We got to work on that. I have an
Okay.
idea for a one-off already.
Gang.
But with that, Zito, do you want to duck out?
Well, hang on, gang. I have
Yep.
to say this.
what
So
is this?
does anyone here know what a zoog is?
A Zoog? I have never heard of a Zoog.
Z-O-O-G.
Are you talking about those cartoons from the early 2000s? With
No,
poorly
that is
CGI
not
what-
animation?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Then no.
A zoog is one of the rat creatures from Lovecraftian mythology,
Hmm.
which is in this
Oh.
book, which makes me want to believe in the idea that Gaius fights fucking Lovecraftian nightmares.
Well, you've got Zan drooling.
Let me just put my mouth back
Apparently
together.
they're from
Yeah.
the Dream Quest of Unknown Kadath, which
Yes.
I've not read that one. So.
Oh baby, that one's a fun time.
God, this is a complete aside, but on the weekend it was Gaius's birthday. Not obviously Zito Gaius, but my IRL friend.
Real guys.
And
I'll
we
beat
played...
him up for my birthday back.
and we played a board game called Arkham something. I can't remember what it was
Arkham
called.
Asylum.
Arkham Asylum.
Was it Arkham Asylum? It was.
Yeah,
it
Or
had the
Arkham
complete-
Horror. Those are the
Yeah,
only two,
that's
really.
the Lovecraft one.
It's like the Lovecraft one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that shit was
Yeah.
fun.
It's
I played
so much fun.
I
loved
played.
it.
I played not Leon Kennedy with his motorcycle and his gun named Becky, and it was so fucking great. It was really fun because Shay's character was a trust fund baby, and I kept making fun of her for it. Anyway, I
Yeah,
digress.
Arkham
Sorry,
Asylum
that's,
is great.
you mentioning that Zeta just brought me back to that because that was a ton of fun.
See, here's the thing: is that especially in a D&D campaign, the only reason why anything Lovecraftian works is because you have a chance against it, and if you're walking in knowing this because you're playing the power fantasy, it doesn't take away from the coolness of it all because you actually get to fight these things, and there's a higher percentile that you'll actually walk away from it, but it also just makes me think of like comics like The Goon and Hellboy, and I kind of want that for Gaius so much. Like I just want to now envision Gaius as drawn in a fucking The Goon comic, and
Gaius
there's
versus Hellboy. Let's do
there's
it.
a fucking smile so wide across my face right now. Also, so Zan, you like Lovecraftian stuff, huh?
Maybe a little bit.
I may have made Night Gaunts playable.
Nice.
I'll pass that to you later.
Thank you.
Did you guys just
Aw.
become best friends?
They've been best friends.
Yeah.
He's been here for
Okay,
days.
with that, I will take my leave.
Hey,
All right.
Zito.
I just
All right,
didn't want to
guys.
keep you because I
Zito.
could ask you a million questions all night. Have a good one, Zito.
Have a good night, everyone. See ya.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.
All right, let's see how much more we can get through in about 45 minutes. If everybody else has to duck, just by all means, do what you need to do.
I'm waiting for paint to dry, so I'm good.
I will
That is-
only duck if my ceiling fan falls off its mount.
I mean, fair.
I will only duck
Here's a
if
question
Goose-
specifically for you, Monty,
Oh.
about languages. And I can't remember if I asked this of you outside of a Q&A or if you've been asked this before. Mega wants to know, you've equated certain game languages to real world languages, e.g. Sylvan equals French, Halfling equals Spanish. Do you have any other equivalents for Elvish, Draconic, and Dwarvish? I presume one of them equals German.
I mean, the halfling being Spanish is 100% Bracky's fault.
I was gonna say, it sounds like a Bracky thing.
That is 100%
I mean,
a Bracky thing.
the little guy.
I mean, but at the same time, I'm like, why not, right? Like, Bracky really likes to do that, and I'm like, I don't really have a reason. But yeah, Sylvan is like really French. Elvish is kind of French because it's a derivative of Sylvan.
It's like Quebec French.
Shut the fuck up.
It's pronounced Quebecois. actually.
Giant is
Quebecois?
very like Giants. At least I'm using a lot of the actual translations from like D&D proper, and it seems very Slavic inspired. I can say this: Delvarian, which is its own dialect of Common, is like because there are different like common dialects as well between like cultures, and there is the
Mhm.
Delvarian dialect, which is very heavily Arabic inspired. It's kind of like a mix between Giant and Delvarian Common is kind of how Delvaria works. I'm trying to think of which other ones. Like Orcish is kind of like the Russian accent, so it's very much like that sort of deal. I only really do it if it's like, yeah, this makes sense. I'm like this, or it's just like, why not? You know what I mean? Like, I'm very impulsive in that way, which is probably not a good way to make decisions. But at the same time, like, I don't know, I just kind of have fun with it. So I don't really have a clear answer, more or less. Though I will say, Terran is when you just say various rock types over and over in sequence. So like rock, boulder, rock, pebble is the language of Terran.
What did the Japanese end up equating to?
Japanese is Ignan because I couldn't think of
Ignan.
anything else to make it. So I was like Ignan and Orin as well are both
Orin.
Japanese.
Yeah, that's what it
technically.
was. Okay. Yeah.
Orin is Japanese, and Ignan is kind of. I would say Ignan is like adjacent to
It's
that.
older, archaic Japanese.
And then Aquan is just gargling water. That's what Aquan is. Literally Murloc talk is what Aquan is, which is I like shit. It's like fun. Like I'm like that's funny and fun to me. So why not, right? Like
Yeah.
doing stuff like that is just kind of like doing that with like language is weird and bizarre and crazy, and I love language is nuts. It's such a weird thing. But,
I fucking love language, obviously.
mhm.
But
Are you much of a conlanger, can I ask?
Conlanger?
Constructed language.
Constructive. Oh, like making your own language?
Or just like the community of people who really enjoy like picking apart fantasy languages.
Not really. I have made my own like for a different thing. I had like language and kind of a written codec thing that I've done for like old work, but beyond that, I do like unique language words. I think those are really fun. Like language words that only exist in their own language that have their own meanings. I think is fun. Like German has a lot of those, which I really enjoy. As well as like I really like how my personal favorite thing is I really like how languages like become like just transfer to other languages. So a perfect example of this, I don't want to go too far into it, but a perfect example of this is that in Korea there's a meme which is take a look. Because in Skyrim there is a Khajiit who says take a look whenever you buy stuff from him. And apparently in Korea, people were so taken by this NPC saying take a look that take a look actually became a term for cute cats. So you'll even see it in some of their videos that they'll be showing a cute cat and it says like it'll say genuine take a look because they associate that with cats. Which I love. I love shit like that, where like languages borrow. Like in English, right? We have PogChamp, which is
Torture.
derivative of like, you know, play of the game, which is derivative of Overwatch, which is like, I like that following that trail of like modern linguistical stuff.
Yeah,
'cause
cultural linguistics.
it's really, really neat. Like, for example, Korean, whenever they want to say like, you know, you can do it, they say fighting. Even though that's like, obviously fighting is like beat each other up, but they say fighting.
That's very similar to, so there's something in I believe it started in Cantonese but ended up in Mandarin, which is jiao, which sort of means, it translates to give it gas, but it's something that's called out at like sporting events. It's kind of like, it's both like simultaneously good luck and like just a general like cheering someone on. And I learned that in Wushu, which like, it was just like everybody at every meet was always crying that out, and I was like, what does this mean? And my coach was like, give it gas, and I was like, oh, okay.
I'm not like spelling bee, like I want to know the regional dialect and all this stuff. Like, I'm not really into that, but I really like the little nuances of how languages borrow from other languages and stuff like that. And I think that to me is really interesting, because that's how life kind of happens and how a lot of language does evolve. But
that's 100% what my major was, Monty.
But but I don't like, I'm not like invested in it. I'm not being like, this is the thing I do. It's more just like, it's like it's kind of like appreciating a good flower. It's like, what a neat thing that is that happens. But yeah, sorry, I kind of went on a bit of a tangent there, but hopefully I answered your question.
Appropriate and related to the question.
Honestly, I like the tangents. That's what we're here for, is to give information. So this is another interesting question for you, Monty. This is from Owen. For Monty, if you were to play in your own setting, what class would you play and where would you be from?
Oh, God. That's a
Good
question, huh?
Yup.
Man, oh man, oh man. I mean, like, that's something you posed to me before, Bosco, is running in the
Yep.
Unexpectables universe, and I'm like, what a weird thing that would be. Given that I know too much, I think it would be really fun to play a character who knows too much but doesn't say anything. You know what I mean? Like, I do have all that knowledge, but the character is just weird and cryptic and doesn't make any sense. I think that would be really fun to do. I'm not saying that's something I would want to do. I just think it would be pretty fun. Oh god, I think I'd like to be a cleric or a paladin, just because of the god stuff. I think that would be really, really fun. In terms of where my character would be from, oh my gosh, it's so hard. It would all depend on where I would be playing. Like, I would pick something nearby. If it was, I'll just say this, if it was at Alavas, oh my god, Jesus. Probably, ironically, and I know that I'll get dunked on for this, but I think I would want to play like a Kenku maybe myself.
Yes, let's go!
I really wish I didn't use Salvador in campaign 1, because I'd probably want to just play fucking Salvador, to be honest with you. Because, like, he's the one character where I'm like, I should have just kept him for a character for me to play, because I would have had a fun time playing.
You still could. There's no reason you can't.
Could. Yeah, I think if I had to pick a character to play, I'd pick Salvador. If it was in Alabas, I would pick Salvador. If we were in if we were in the Alton Frontiers, oh man, or Alton anyway. Fuck, I think. I don't want to spoil anything, but I think I would pick a ranger for one specific country that I would want to be from. So I won't say. Is it a country
we've been to or no?
You know of, yes, and that
we
would
know
be
of. Okay, cool.
Eltmer. I would probably want to play a character from Eltmer.
Interesting. That would be so cool.
I'm not going to give any more information than that, because it is a spoiler, unfortunately. But that would be my pick. Yeah,
we'll get there. Wow, that's a bombshell. Okay. So it might not happen this year, but now I'm determined to run something for you in your own universe. I'm just putting it out there. I'm gonna need it, but I'm still putting it in the universe. Chad, put the pressure on her. I'll run it if she'll play it.
It'd be weird. It'd be so weird.
It would be weird, but I'm here for it.
I wonder how Matt Mercer feels when he plays. Like, because he was a player in Tal'Dorei, I think.
Yeah.
Or at very least Wild Map somewhere.
I think he's let people run in his universes before.
He has.
I will say both Brennan Lee Mulligan and Matt Mercer have run in each other's universe for each other, and it was such a cool experience to watch.
That is very neat, yeah. I feel like for me to run in somebody else's universe, I'd have to do a lot of homework. It's really weird, actually, because I am actually playing in Call of the Netherdeep right now. So technically I am, I guess, in Matt Mercer's
You're in the Matt
universe.
Mercerverse.
I am in the Matt Mercerverse, so
that
is very, very unique to me.
The Matt I tried.
I've run the Shadow War universe. I've run the Shadow War universe, but I've never run it for Zan, so that would be cool.
That would be very neat, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
I wonder if
That's
Zan
a
would
good
ever let you run it. For
I mean, the
you.
next time we have a
Bosco is
chance
one of
to
the
do
very few people I would allow that to happen.
Mm,
For me.
yeah.
the next time we have to run a one-off in Shadow War, we're gonna figure this out. I have goals now. Excellent. Let's see. Oh, here's a
Mark
really
and I
fun
have been
question.
telling you
That's
to
just-
DM for years, so.
For real.
I've been trying to DM more. October's coming. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, but more than once a year, preferably.
I mean, that's true. But I'm like a holiday. You get a little bit of me, and then you just gotta wait.
Well, the problem with that is when we have a little bit of you, we're done. So you have to.
That's what I
just
mean. So you need
bombard
the
us
year to
with you.
decompress, and you come back around.
No, make it like waves in the ocean. Like just keep it coming.
And
Eventually,
don't
we'll get
stop
used to the
coming, and
rocking
don't stop
motion, and
coming,
we'll be
and
fine.
they don't stop coming. Anyway, so this is a question from Lovely Lorelei, and it's really interesting. It's for everybody. What D&D class ability do you think would be the most fun in real life?
Oh God.
Good luck.
Ask that again.
What D&D class ability do you think would be the most fun in real life? The class ability.
I know
Yeah.
mine. I know mine almost fucking.
Go ahead, Monty.
immediately. Hold on. I'm gonna find the name for it because I want to actually say the proper name. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just gonna look it up real fast.
I want to say bardic inspiration.
I would want minor conjuration from the School of Conjuration Wizard, where I can just make whatever I want. I could just create whatever object I've ever seen.
Is that a class ability or is it
It
a
is.
subclass ability? Monty?
It is a subclass ability technically, but it is a wizard's. I mean, fucking wizard's got nothing else besides you cast.
I know.
I guess the other one for me would be the wild shape for druid, but it feels too obvious.
I mean, wild shape would be so amazing, but yeah, no. In terms of like actual utilitarian use, I would love to be able to do bardic inspiration in real life. I think being able to just like talk to someone and be like, "You're gonna do this thing really well," and then they go and like they get to do it even better because you told them that they could. Like that kind of level of support is the kind of person I want to be. So like that would be really cool for me. Bosco,
I'm thinking.
Zan.
Barbarian
Yeah,
Rage,
Zan, if
no.
you got one.
Oh God.
Everybody's thinking.
I honestly, I think being able to create. Oh, that's kind of a spell though. Never mind. I think for me personally, it would be either being able to have the spell to create like food and water would be awesome. But if I had to choose a class ability, probably something like a lay on hands, or like I have a headache, I'm just gonna massage my temples real quick. All right, I'm good to go.
Right. Wait, massage your what?
Temples.
Oh, okay. I heard something completely different. Bosco?
I have a lot in my brain. I would really like to smite some people in this world. I also really like the lay on hands one. That's really good.
I like that your two
Also-
first instincts were kill someone or heal someone.
Heaven or hell, let's rock. All right. Also, just because they get a fly speed, the Twilight Cleric's ability to get wings, to be able to just fly would be so freaking cool.
It's a subclass ability. Just
Shut
say
up.
spellcasting. Just say
No,
spellcasting. That's a class feature.
no, that's a
and you're
cheat.
good.
That's a cheat. Because then I'm just like, oh, I want to be a wizard.
Well, yeah, you do.
No.
I would like to be a
I'm,
wizard.
I'm
would
trying to
also
be
like
specific.
a wizard.
I wish I was a wizard too.
Everyone tells me when I'm asked like what class would you be in real life, everyone always jumps to druid because of like my weather stuff.
Weird.
But like
I
no,
never get that.
I don't have a natural connection with weather. I had to learn that shit. I'm a wizard through and through.
It's it's funny because when I ask people like, hey, what D&D class do you think I'd be? They're like, oh, you'd be a commoner. I'm like, oh.
It's true.
You'd be a jester, which isn't a class that exists anymore, but
You'd be.
I'd be a
additional voices.
jester?
additional voices, the D&D class.
Additional voices. I wouldn't be the main jester. I would be the additional jester. I don't do the juggling. I just pick
Not
up the
main
juggling.
Jester, the second jester.
The second jester.
The one
Oh,
without
but
a
surely-
name and no lines.
And barely even the cool hat.
He just
Instead
goes,
of the
"Oh!"
4, I have
That's
3. Oh man.
Just three-pronged jester.
Three-pronged jester. That would be his name. Oh my gosh. Monty, did you say yours?
I think
Yeah.
Monty stepped away for a second.
Monty said
okay.
oh god, I forget what it's called, but
Yeah, I can't remember what it
the-
was, but I feel like she
the
said it.
conjuration thing that lets you just
That's
make
it.
what you
Okay.
need.
Yeah. All right.
I knew what she said. I
Uh,
can't remember what the ability is.
Oh, here's an interesting question. This one is again from Mutrin. For the DMs, how do you organize your world building notes? And I guess Zan, why don't you take this because I know you've done a lot of that.
Yeah, that's a good question. It does, for me, it is dependent on whether or not I'm doing like a pre-written setting. So if I'm running something in Faerun, right, then like how I organize those notes are very different than if I'm, home brewing or creating my own setting. If I'm creating my own setting, I typically do use either World Anvil or something like it. I also tend to draw out like regional maps and then world maps and kind of have a notebook separate for that. And we'll like make little annotations for that so that I can reference it back. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me when it comes to world building notes. It's a lot of writing. It's a lot of taking notes, but that's part of DMing.
Yeah,
Mark, do you have any? Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I learned how to DM from Zan. So, like, when it comes to campaign planning, I have that as like a separate thing from world building. But my world building practices are still very much the same way that they were when I started writing creative stories, usually short stories, in middle school, which is sort of the most unhinged and non-organizational process possible. It's usually a blank piece of paper with words kind of just scrawled on it, and then some of them are circled with lines that have arrows on them pointing to other things. So there's sort of like webs and word bubbles and things like that. And what ends up happening is through that process, I usually arrive on the things that I consider sort of the tenets of the world. And those then get transplanted into a nice, neat like notebook. Because if I start at like an outline process for the actual world building, I get kind of overwhelmed with the idea that things need to be structured at the start. So I'm much rather the more chaotic creative process of throwing ideas all at the page, and then whichever ones I think are most fleshed out or stick out as the most important, that ends up being the pillars of what I then go on to make the solid, world building tenets.
Very nice. Monty, are you back?
I am, yeah.
Do you have any general notes for how you organize your world building stuff?
Organize is such a generous word.
Your organized chaos. Is there anything that you do?
I mean, there's some notoriety about how shitty my note taking is. Specifically, I mean, like I think there was like a page I had that just had Milo, nothing else, just written in the middle of it.
Oh man,
there was a thought there. It's gone now. But I go back to my.
You know what's here.
Yeah.
You know it's here, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, because it's different situations, right? So, like for example, Delvaria, all of its like important characters are written down. Actually, let me just start at the beginning. So for campaign 2, I have the map. I have the continent map, the whole thing. Sorry, Escan, get on my level.
Damn.
I wish
he's trying.
I could,
he's working.
But you won't
he's
show
on that
me.
grind.
And from that, and I'm going to preface this by saying I do not recommend this if you have a very small space. Each country in campaign 2 has its own notebook. I have a bunch of composite notebooks, and each one contains the relevant information for each country because I have to organize it that way. If I use a single notebook, everything's just going to get lost. So instead, what I've done is, like, Delvaria has its own notebook, Hearthland has its own notebook, Eastonvale has its own notebook, Athel has its own notebook, which consolidates all of the relevant, like, references for either characters, locations, things that are there. I have a quests notebook that contains side quests or side adventures. I have a dungeons and loot book that is specifically for, like, the vaults or optional dungeons and optional puzzles and things like that. And so I have like a stack of books on my shelf for that. And again, I don't recommend this. I feel like if you do digital in that way, it would work better. But I'm very physical with what I do, especially with notes, and I also draw a lot. So a lot of my stuff I do draw, like my dungeons and stuff, I'll sketch out and stuff like that. If there's anything that I immediately need on hand, I put in Roll20. So, for example, there's a list of all the gods is on Roll20, as well as anything else I might need there. But yeah, for the most part, a lot of it's in my head. I'm not gonna lie. I keep a lot of stuff up in my noggin. It's probably not the wisest thing to do, but it's, you know,
It
what I
clearly
do.
works.
See, that's why I do write things down though. Like once I write it with my hand, it's like easier to find in my head again rather than when I'm typing it out, it just like goes off into the void and I don't remember it. So I'm with you on the notebooks thing because it just helps me actually remember things better.
I just write down names, honestly, like locations and names and like the names of things.
Like
when it
just
comes
Milo?
to like, yeah, like Milo in the middle of the sheet. But like when it comes to like details, I'm like, that's in my head. It'd be in my mind. I'm like, it's a waste of effort to write all this down because I know it already. I don't need to reference this. It's so engrossed in my brain that it's not something I need to go back and look at. Like names I can forget, but like places and how they look, smell, and feel is all just in my brain. I don't need any help with that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I had a more creative answer than that, but I steal from a lot of smarter people than I am. So, for example, I will consume media and I will go, I like the dynamic between those two characters. I want NPCs or PCs that have that dynamic. How do I write somebody that will give me that relationship with a PC or another NPC? Or I'll go, oh, that's a really creative culture or whatever. Like, hey, Mandalorians are really cool. How do I do my version of the Mandalorians? Because all of that stuff's already there, and then I can just figure out a way to make it unique. And that's typically how I will do stuff, whether it's coming up with names or places or things. I will look to people that are smarter than I am and go, so how did they effectively get what I want? And then how do I do my version of that? And that's a lot of what I do.
Good writers create, great writers steal.
Yeah.
Exactly. Do you know how
Also,
much
the-
I've stolen from Zan?
I don't listen. There's so much that I've taken from like Dragon Age or Mass Effect or some of these like epic BioWare games where they nail a character or they nail a location or they nail a species and I go, oh, I need that. How do I do that? And that's it.
I know myself, and this is maybe just me, but like whenever I have a character in mind, like I'm like I really want to do this character who's like kind of this way. I try and find like an equivalent in real life, or like
I feel that.
just like a character study. Like I can't.
Oh
remember
yeah,
which
100%.
I can't remember which character it was, but there was a character I wanted to be like just reckless, wild, and just like kind of like, holy shit, calm down. And I ended up just watching a bunch of Australians doing stupid shit outside, and that literally fueled me to be better at like portraying that character in a way. It's just by like looking up certain characters and personalities and things like that. And like, I don't know, it's do your homework, and for notes, just like, you know, my biggest thing with like how you organize your game and how you do your notes is like find what works for you. There's no key clear answer. It's very much like, you know, there are people who do corkboards, there are people who do Google Docs forms, there are people who do physical notes, there are people who do like, you know, Arche and do all of those things at the same time. Like, find what works for you and don't try to force something if it doesn't feel good, is the best advice I can give. Because too often, like, you know, I could write down everything I'm thinking of, but at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, like, is there a benefit to doing it? And if there's not, then don't do it. Because, like, for me, I'm like, I don't need to write really detailed notes because I already, that's so in my head. But, like, things like names, I have a harder time grasping in my memory, so I have to write those down, right? And that feels good.
So much of DMing does come down to, like, okay, well, this didn't work, or when I was in the session, this was, like, kind of a hiccup for me. How do I get better at that? And then you do the homework that you feel you need.
The only other time I do notes, too, is if it's, like, a big map, like Eastendale Keep, I had to write down what each room contained, or else there's no way I would remember that.
As evidenced by you know what's in here.
Agreed.
Next question.
In my defense,
Yeah.
I did. Like, in my defense, I did. I just could have maybe noted it down a bit better at the time.
It was very funny.
It was hilarious. Yeah. I think it was what we needed in the moment as well, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Zero Outcast has a question, and this is an interesting one. For everybody, what's your favorite non-D&D tabletop game? And I'll kick this one off because Zan and I recently had this conversation, and I think we're probably in agreement on this, and then I'll turn the floor over to him. But for me, it's probably Shadowrun. I think Shadowrun's character... Yeah. I think Shadowrun's character creation is one of the best that I've ever done, because before you're done building the character as they ask you to do with all of your assets and where you live, you have a really good idea of who they are before you're even done going through all the stats and the money and the magic and all that stuff. So it forces you to kind of think about who they are to allocate all that stuff. So even if you've never made a character before and aren't very creative, that will give you a roadmap of what you could be. And also, Zan brought up this point, and I kind of agree with him, that you can really do anything you want in Shadowrun. It's such a great mix of technology and magic that there's really no character type or story you can't tell using that medium. And I really, really enjoy that about Shadowrun. Zan, I don't know if you have anything to add or if I'm incorrect about that being your personal favorite.
I mean, it's definitely like top 2 for me. A little difficult to say which one's my favorite. I have been enjoying Pathfinder 2 now that I've gotten a bit more experience with it. I had meh feelings about it at first. But yeah, I don't know. Like, Shadowrun is very fun for me. I am a huge fan as well. While the system isn't, I think, for every table, I am a really big fan of the Genesis system. I'm a huge fan of that. For those who haven't played the what is it, the Star Wars or like Fantasy Flight Star Wars, or the generic version of it, which is Genesis, big fan of it. But those would probably be my top 2.
Mark, Monty, anything non-D&D related that you really like?
I couldn't find my button. Sorry. I really like the World of Darkness system. I haven't had, or I guess it's Chronicles of Darkness now. I haven't had a lot of experience with it, but all the experiences that I've had with it are all the things that I really enjoy about role-playing, which are the moments when you get to make a role-play decision and it's not like its outcome is not determined by the luck of a die roll. There are so many things that you can do in Chronicles of Darkness that are simply storytelling between you, the other people at the table, and the GM. That's something that I've always felt can lack from some D&D tables where, especially with like more inexperienced parties, whether it's the players or the DM, there are plenty of situations where it's sort of like you have an idea that you want to do, but maybe you don't know how to do it without relying on the mechanics, and then a die roll tells you don't get to do it. I'm not a fan of when someone has this great, interesting idea or new approach to address something, and then the dice just go, no, you don't get to. As I'm sure you guys might understand from my historic roles on the show. Chronicles of Darkness being able to just kind of come to an agreement between the players and the GM that an outcome is going to happen without forcibly relying on those dice is really nice. And you can do that in D&D. It just usually requires a lot more experience. And in my personal experience, I haven't had a lot of opportunities to do that. So I want to experiment more with World of Darkness and more opportunities to do that kind of storytelling where everyone just is telling the story. And we don't necessarily have to rely as much on luck for, things that otherwise should just work,
Real quick to double back, that's actually how you kill Strigol or Eastcon, is you just force us to make a bunch of rolls.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Especially
Give
if
me
we
a
will
save.
just 20 roll. Yeah.
Also, force them to not give an Obama.
I roll more ones on a D20 than I do on a D4, which is hilarious.
I have my answer.
Yeah, go for it.
Obviously, I have a special place in my heart for Pathfinder 1 because that's how I got my start. So, like, I don't think I could go back to the system now just because it is a little too dense for me. But I do appreciate Pathfinder 1 because it's how I got my start. I have played Pathfinder 2 and I like it, though I feel like I need to, like, kind of like what you said, Zan, I need to play a bit more of it to really come to a full conclusion on it still. I really like Shadow of the Demon Lord, specifically for character creation. I think Shadow of the Demon Lord has got probably the best, like, tables to create a character, in my opinion, just from my experience. And then I think just for, like, approachability. This is such a pull, but like the My Little Pony tabletop game we played that one time was
Oh, that
pretty
was-
simple and
that was
pretty
crazy.
approachable. Yeah. Also, this is a bit of a weird pull, but one of them I was just thinking, as I was sitting here and thinking, like, what systems have I played in? There's one. Stick with me here. There's one that I actually. It's a solo role playing game, kind of. It's a book series called the Lone Wolf series. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of it.
I've heard of it. I haven't actually gotten to play it though.
It's literally like, you know, those sort of like choose your own adventure games.
Yeah.
Except for you actually roll up a character sheet for your character and go through like a sequence, and there's like puzzles and stuff, and it's like really, really like it's really neat. I'm so bad at it though. I like this is so crazy to say. Like I haven't beaten a book. But like I could not beat the first book. I'm still like I still need to roll up another character and try and beat the first book. I got so far into it and then I died, and it was
There's something really similar to that I just found during Free Tabletop Day this year, from Van Ryder Games. It's called Lou Garou. It's very similar.
Yeah.
It's like a choose your own adventure, but the same thing. You roll a character sheet, and the choices that you make, you can find
Affect your-
items.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool. I love stuff like that.
Oh my gosh, solo RPGs got me through the pandemic.
The Flight from the Dark was what I think it was called, the first book, and I had to order it from Ireland. But I had heard about it and I was curious, so I bought it, and I one night I put on ambience, and then every time a scene changed, I changed the ambience, and I had my character sheet rolled up, and it was, oh god, I was so pissed every time I died though. I was like, son of a bitch, I have to roll up a
And
new
then you have to
character
start all over again.
all over again. I'm like, fucking hell, dude. Like, it's really funny too, because I rolled up a character and died within the first two like scene changes, and I was like, son of a bitch, all right, roll up another character. And then I rolled up a character with godlike stats, but then I didn't get a key in one of the areas, so I died.
Oh, you got
because
stuck?
I got stuck, yeah, so I died. But what's really funny is that I googled like, when is it okay to kind of like snub like some of this so I don't have to go back to the beginning again? And people were like, treat it like a Bethesda game. Like you can quick save before like, you know, certain events if you want to go back to previous saves, or write down the actual progress that you did, and you can go back to previous areas to try and like change your ending.
Yeah.
So I
Well, and that's the
honestly
thing
should do
about it
that.
is it's a self-contained single-player game, so like you can cheat, and the only one who would be upset about it would be you.
Yeah, so but I was mostly like, I didn't want to ruin my experience, and also I'm like,
Sure.
what is the manners for this? Because I don't want to just like obviously like just win automatically. I like the challenge, but at the same
Right.
time I'm like, I'm really annoyed. Like it's my 5th time going back to the beginning, and I'd rather like just like figure out like where I could just load from.
Monty,
rather than-
Monty, that is some power Canadian stuff. I need to ask the internet for permission to save scum.
in a book. In a book.
In your own house by yourself.
In a book. But yeah, those are probably mine.
Very nice. I found a couple of interesting questions, but they're like mostly paired off for people. But I will start with this one because it's rather interesting, and I'm going to toss it at Mark first because I actually did this with him. This is from FIIK. Question for anyone: any tips/thoughts for playing a character with an affliction that affects them internally, like a curse of hunger? And I will turn it over to Mark because that's kind of what is going on with Waihakeda.
That's basically exactly why
Yeah.
Hakeda. I think the important part is understanding balancing your character's needs with your party's needs, both above and in game, because you don't want it to become so much of a crutch that you're incapable of doing anything if those requirements aren't satisfied. But you also don't want to completely ignore it to the point where it just kind of becomes a piece of, a line of dialogue on your character sheet. So in those instances, if you're playing that kind of game, first of all, very much rely on your DM and keep a line of open communication with them, and trust that they understand your character's affliction and what you want to do with it. For instance, with Waihakeda, I told Bosco basically right from the start that because we're playing around with the actual native roots of her affliction, I wanted to make sure that we weren't going to completely monster movie it. And so I wanted to make sure that this need of Waihakeda's wasn't going to be so heavily leaned in that it became the only point of her character. And he's done a very good job of making sure that, like, yeah, there's going to be instances where she's going to be reminded of it, but it's not going to be a requirement for you to continue participating. And that was very important for me. So again, opening that line of dialogue with your DM is very big. And if it's something that you need to keep secret from the party, once they are aware of it, don't try to keep more of it secret. Once they know what's going on, above game, let everybody know, okay, here's the deal, here's what's going on, here are the requirements, here are the stipulations. If in game you want that to still be a part of exploration, that's fine. But just make sure your party knows what's going on, so that nobody's getting cross or upset with how those things are playing out.
Yep, I think Mark pretty much.
I'm
that.
literally
Zan,
like,
did you have a
and you
thought?
can't pick it up, but I'm literally snapping. Like,
Yeah,
why?
that was it.
quickly. I couldn't add
Yeah.
succinctly. But
Okay, thanks.
Monty, did you have anything you want to toss on that one? Have you ever had a player that had like a curse or
I-
something on them?
I mean, the only person I know of right now is Shay's character in our Monday game currently, so I actually cannot speak to that. I don't have much experience with it, to be honest with you.
As a player who's in a game with somebody who's cursed, have you found it to be weird or anything like that, or do you think is it just like something that doesn't really affect the game at all because of the kind of curse?
You're asking me?
Yeah. So, since you're playing in a game where somebody is cursed.
Yeah, that's Shay's character. We haven't seen that much of it yet, so I am genuinely like interested in what that is going to entail. Like, I haven't really seen it to full effect because in Core 5th edition, there's not a whole lot of that for the most part. So I am curious to see how that works.
Zen actually brought up a good point. It did happen. Something like that did happen in Mad Mage a good few sessions ago. And so much of that was, like Mark said, it was the communication. Two players, spoilers if you're not caught up, the two characters got cursed, and their afflictions were something deeply personal that would get like worse and worse over time. But they were both messaged by Monty, so the rest of the players, myself included, didn't know. And the way that both players like took the assignment and ran with it was so cool to see. Like, oh man, it was great.
Really awesome. That was a really like on paper terrible situation that ended up making a very interesting sequence of events for sure.
Oh, it was fantastic. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, heck of a question. I saw that one. I was like, oh, that's an interesting and new one. Let's see. I'm gonna scroll up. There was one that I liked that I can't find now, which is my forever problem. Okay, this is an interesting one just because I know most of you know this universe. Owen the Jedi Droid wants to know, for everyone, if your character played Warhammer 40k, what army would they main?
I was trying to think of like a funny meme for Strigol, but there aren't really any owl specific people in 40k.
Not really many birds either.
Because wizards, he'd probably play the fucking Eldar.
Okay.
My character would play Conquest Last Argument of Kings.
Yeah, that's the base option.
Yeah. All my characters, so it's.
I don't really know enough about 40k to say. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't know enough.
Yeah, there aren't lizard folk in 40k.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been the
There's a
easy option, but I'm like,
fantasy.
there are none, so I don't know. I'm hesitant to say because I don't know enough about them, but maybe the Adeptus Sororitas, but I don't know. I don't know.
I feel like Milo would play Adeptus Sororitas.
Mm-hmm.
I
Eastcan-
could see that. Yeah.
Eastcan could play salamanders because they're good boys.
I guess. Yeah,
Mary
I-
Vulcan.
guess.
Just Monty casually, softly in the back. I wish to marry Vulcan.
I don't know. I feel. I guess, yeah. It's a lot more defensive of the whole than Eastgun tends to be, but potentially.
I would play the Necrons, no question.
No,
I don't know.
yeah.
He feels like a
probably.
corn worshiper to me.
Necron.
No.
Oh,
I
you
think
know, because
Necron makes
Corn's
more-
anti-magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
They're against
Necron would be
magic.
the way to go.
I just wanted to make the joke.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh, well, all right.
Fuck.
Citrix,
Sorry,
Citrix
Marmy.
says Easkin strikes me as a Tau player. The only reason why I'm going to say no is because the one time I
no,
played the
Seika
Tau, I
would be
got
Tau.
yelled at. So...
Seika's Tau. Seika's a Tau
Seika
player.
is definitely Tau. Yeah, yeah.
I feel like Gaius would be Corn.
That I could see. Blood for the Blood God.
I don't know. He's not super aggro.
Maybe Space Wolves.
Space Wolves I could see.
He
Maybe,
likes a good
yeah.
fight, but isn't
Yeah.
stuck
There's still
in
a
it.
respect aspect to
Ooh.
it. It's not just kill, crush, kill, destroy swag.
Here's an interesting question. This is from Dire Beast. Question for Bosco and Zan. If Kai and Strigal could create a spell, what would it be, and what would they call it?
So I'll let you answer that one because I need to have a little bit of a think about this one.
Okay. So here's what I will say, because I legitimately actually want this to happen. I won't say what spell it is, but there is a spell that exists in D&D. And I have talked to Monty about the spells that she does and does not like that are currently not involved in the campaign. So we have, I think it's up to like Xanathar, because in campaign
Well,
1 we
we
were
have
discovering Xanathar.
Yeah, no, it is.
Tasha's, yeah.
It is technically Tasha's. It's sort of basically campaign 1 was player's handbook, and then Xanathar spells are discoverable. And in
Yes.
campaign 2, it is all Xanathar spells have been discovered, and now Tasha's spells are discovered.
Tasha's are the ones being discovered, yeah.
Yeah.
So there is a spell that I would kill for Kai to discover and create in-game. The problem is it is not part of one of the approved books. It's official content, but it's not part of an approved book. So I have to negotiate with Monty down the road because I think it's a really cool spell that would make a lot of sense for Kai. But I don't want to say what it is in case it happens. And then if it doesn't happen, I'll tell you what it was. But if we had to create one out of scratch, that's interesting because I really like this spell and the way that it works. So I have to think of something different.
I know what
I
the
could-
answer is.
I could
They'd
see-
make a never molt spell so that Strigal never loses feathers and Kai never
Nice.
loses his hair.
I think Strigal could, or Kai could probably make like their own necromantic cantrip. That would be kind of cool to see.
I would love a necromantic cantrip because I think Chill Touch is the only one, right?
I think so.
Toll the Dead.
Yeah,
Oh,
Toll the
yeah,
Dead,
that's
that's
the only one.
Yeah, yeah.
Dead.
Which are those are cool, but I don't know what it would. I would love to see Kai invent even if he doesn't discover the spell, I would love for him to find a way for wizards to use Speak with Dead, like a version of that, even if it's not the same kind of spell, because I think only clerics get that, maybe paladins too. That would be really, really cool because I love that spell because it's necromancy, it involves the dead, but it's not
Wizards can
something
learn
where
it,
you're
dude.
bringing. Huh?
Wizards can learn it.
Can they?
It's bards, clerics, and wizards.
Oh, well, there you go. I didn't think it was a wizard spell.
But you
I'm
could
dumb.
make dance with dead.
Dance with Dead would be cool.
Yeah, that's not in there yet.
A spell I really miss from 3-5 days is a spell called Spellflower. Basically allows you.
Yeah.
I love that spell so much. Basically allows you to cast 2 enchantment spells on 1 turn, but you have to spend a whole turn to set it up before you do. Effectively, it's still 2 turns in 1, but it does allow for some really interesting like touch spells to go off with interesting like combinations. That it was just a lot of fun. We did a lot of it in the stories that I ran for that really long campaign. But as far as making a spell, I think I would like to have some sort of quickly, not jaunting, but like quick temporary flight spells would be cool.
The problem is,
Sort of like
Tasha
a,
gives so many people flight already. So
What is it? Is it spurious leap or whatever? Something like that, where it's
Yeah.
like it propels you, but it's with a flight speed.
It's just for like a turn.
Oh!
Yeah.
Super quick. That'd be fun.
I would love to see Kai come up with some kind of creative teleportation spell because it's so thematic with Easonville being where teleport was like invented. I think finding a really creative like movement spell that has teleportation aspects to it. Probably not as strong as an actual teleport spell, but maybe something that can let you dart around the battlefield and move way quicker than you normally would be able to. Kind of like
Just
a Misty
use
Step.
Planner Shift.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
really high level though.
That's all right. You can do it. I believe in you.
Got it. Nailed it.
Yeah, just get high level
Um,
forehead.
There's
Yeah, come
well,
on.
but there's so Misty Step doesn't do damage when you leave, but I know there is a spell that when you step out, it does
Oh.
damage.
Thunder Step.
It's Thunder
That's what it
Step.
is. Yeah.
I almost died from that once.
Yeah,
in game.
Thunder Step's a really cool spell. I would love to see a variation on Thunder Step.
Hey Zan,
of
remember
something.
that blood magic spell where you could like appear inside another pool of blood and damage the people nearby?
Oh, the Blood Magus abilities from 3.5.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Golden Jay, I will say I have looked at that spell. I won't be able to use it, but I love that spell. That's a really cool one. Particularly for how it can be used on allies. But yes, some kind of teleportation spell would be really cool to invent. Good question.
You need a spell that
let's
turns Wark into a boomerang
see. That's just...
or a batarang, so you throw him and he comes back.
I wonder if I could use polymorph for that.
Warcry.
Modified polymorph. Here's a question for Zan specifically. This is from Poke Drifter. Zan, was Strigal always meant to be a wizard, or did he have some other classes in mind while building his character?
There was an idea of playing him as a bard for a brief moment, but I was talking to Monty about like what I could do to potentially help kind of push Hearthland and kind of help be a little bit of a expressive foil for Kai, and Wizard just made the most sense. I think the biggest part I struggled on to land was the subclass, which has now obviously been revealed that he's a war wizard, but that was the only time. Most of the thinking when he would be some sort of like studious arcane caster, so Wizard just made sense.
Nice. I have like 2 or 3 more, one for Monty, one for Bosco and myself, and then we'll end it on a joint question.
Did
'cause
you
it
just say
is, I just
Bosco
noticed,
and myself?
but I meant Mark and myself, whatever.
You are
I'm-
Bosco.
I can't.
I don't
I'm
mean to
having
alarm you.
I'm having a day. I'm having a day.
Bosco no shields.
Oh, buddy, I came in with no shields. They haven't just gone down, sir. I walked in with no shields. I'm on my 3rd or 4th life at this point. All right, so we'll start with the Monty one. This one is from Shahalem. For Monty, you've been using a lot of custom characters this campaign. Do you build them around a cool mechanic, or are you thinking of a theme and then adding mechanics that fit the theme?
I'm a little confused. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. So they want to know, do you build your custom creatures around a cool mechanic, or are you thinking of a theme and then adding mechanics to fit that theme? So, for example, the theme of like, oh, I want them to be undead. These are the mechanics that would work. Or
Oh.
do you have like a cool mechanic and you're like, oh, that would fit an undead creature?
I kind of do both, honestly. If I'm really liking an idea where I'm like, I want the fight to kind of be like, you know, have other elements to it, I'll do that. Like, I kind of, it depends. It feels so lazy to say both, but yeah, honestly, both. I mean, like, the gelatinous cube thing was more like, you know, in my head, I'm like, okay, I want to do a gelatinous cube. But based off of how I had designed the dungeon, I'm like, there's no reason the party can't just shoot this thing to death. So then it became a thing of like, how do I, you know, keep, like, I don't want to, like, you know, I never want to do things where it's just like, oh, the party has an advantage, I want to remove the party's advantage. But it's more like, what can I do to balance it out so it's equal parts interesting and still kind of a challenge? Which is why the skeleton was in there. It was also good for world, like, story and world building. It kind of came together in that way. Oh my god, I think the best example of that is the Amphisbaea in the first vault. When I was looking through creatures, I was just like, there's a lot of 2-headed creatures. I want to make a dungeon that has like this as a kind of like theme. And then after that, I you know, supplemented with the Amphisbaea.
Is that what the snakes were?
Yeah, the snake was the Amphisbaea, which is in Theros, actually. It's a creature in Theros. And then for custom creatures like the Centipede Hound, it was more of like, I mean, obviously I had gotten the design from Cracknir, and I was like, okay, how would this thing function and how should it work? And, you know, I looked at it and I thought for a long time. And I thought also like, okay, what, you know, if these are created by the necromancers of, you know, the 4 necromancers, kind of their design, what would be something they would want it to do? So I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know if I really think of something like, I really want to do this neat mechanic. More of like, if this was created, what was its purpose and what does it do to kind of exemplify that purpose, if that makes sense. Yeah, stuff like that. And then obviously if I do want to, like, for a case in point with the gelatinous cube, I'm like, how can I spin these things to make them a bit more interesting if I need a little bit more oomph, right? I hope I answered that question correctly. It's kind of a hard. It's kind of I just kind of roll with whatever I need at the time. Like it's like, oh, I need an interesting creature here. Or, oh, there isn't something that already exists that needs, that I kind of want to go for this. Like
Well,
then I'll
you
just
don't have
make it.
you don't have any one way of doing it.
No, I really don't. It's more like a response. But sometimes it is just like I'm like, oh, I really like this idea. I want to make something, and then I make it. And then there are other times where I'm just like, oh, I really want, like, we're here. There's this stuff is present. I should make something that fits this better, or take something and kind of tweak it, or all that stuff. Like I think the sandworm is a perfect example. Like I'm like, I like this creature, but it doesn't do exactly what I want, so I'm gonna tweak it so it kind of does what I want, while still being this really, really cool creature that I like from the Cobalt Press books. So there's that. And there are other things. Like there's stuff where I'm just like, I see a creature and I'm like, I don't like that it has this. This doesn't make sense to me. I'm gonna change it. And guess what? You can do that. As long as you're consistent, you can do that. And like I'm not gonna just change it to have an advantage over the party. I just change it because I'm like, I feel like this fits better in my head anyway. So hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then this question is from Ransag. This is for Mark and himself, because I screwed it up the other way last time.
So me and me, got it.
Me and me, and you. Yes.
Okay.
What led you to playing characters who started out unsure of their class abilities and have been slowly growing into them? How have Iskan and Kai worked out in play compared to how you thought they would when the campaign was starting? And I'll let you go first, Mark.
All right. Well, while you're letting me go first, I just want to clarify that Bosco and I did not simultaneously plan this. Like neither of us knew the other was doing this. I've
if
seen
we
a
did,
few
we probably one of us
murmurings.
would have changed. I promise you.
Yeah, I saw a few murmurings of people saying, "Oh, they must have planned this." We did not.
Nope. No.
Bosco and I just have very similar approaches to character study because I have been playing D&D for over 20 years now, and I've never really played a character who at level 1 was a nobody. There's a lot of expectation, and probably rightly so for many people, when you're starting at level 1, that there's something that your character is already known for, because NPCs who are just commoners, who are just normal people, don't tend to have a level. But you also tend, as you play through D&D and tabletop in general more and more, the NPCs that you do encounter do end up having levels. There's a lot of NPCs who are less well-known than you, who might be the same level as you. So I've always wanted to play with the idea of someone who is, as a level 1 adventurer, maybe they have abilities that somebody else in their same exact status and place in life wouldn't have, and that's what makes them an adventurer. And so part of their journey, very much kind of hearkening back to the original idea of the hero's journey from Joseph Campbell, part of their journey is discovering who they are while also going on whatever adventure it is that they're going on. So for Iskan in particular, because he is a map maker and his impetus for going out and adventuring is wanting to see more of the world so that he can map it accurately, it made more sense to pile onto that, this idea that because for the first time he's away from home and adventuring and finding these new things, these aspects of himself that he's never looked into and never had the ability to look into are starting to pop up more often. And now, so the interest in who he is and where his abilities come from slowly starts to become more important to him. Whereas before it was just, I just want to map things, right? Now he has to also address this idea of, well, wait, who am I? And if these things that I can do have a source, what is that source? And can I learn more about it? Because I've never had that opportunity to explore that before. And above game, I've never had the opportunity to explore that before. So it's kind of, that was what I wanted to do with Iskan. It's ultimately the reason why I chose to build his character the way I did, and not some of the other ideas I had when we were talking about characters for this campaign.
Yeah, I can echo a lot of that. I can echo a lot of what Mark just said. I had never seen a character in any D&D game that I had been a part of or had watched or had heard about where at level 1 you basically figure out what you are. And I went, well, that's something I could challenge myself with, because whenever I build a new D&D character, it's like, what can I do that I haven't done before? whether it's a class or whether it's a subclass or whether it's a character trait. And that was something I had never seen done at all. It just so happens Mark had the exact same freaking idea, so I was going to get that one way or the other. So for me, it was really fun to basically, and I think it worked well with two people that were both going through this, because there are pros and cons when two people are doing it. I think Mark has done it better than I have, if I'm being perfectly honest, but I think having both of them really made Otho, Gaius, and Milo shine early on. So when Gaius jumped up in the tree, or when Milo's like one-shotting 7 or 8 guys at once, you're like, whoa, those dudes are special. They stand out because nobody else is doing that. Half the party can't do that. And so I think Iskon and Kai figuring stuff out also elevated the others because they already had their stuff together and knew what they were about, and they could show off in that way. And it makes sense that then Kai would be like, oh, Gaius, you're so cool. Or Iskon would be like, hey, Milo, how did you do that guiding bolt? And then is able to figure out how to do his own guiding bolt. I really like that it both is relatable in terms of characters finding their way, because all of us at one point learned how to do what we're doing, and elevated other people in the party by showcasing just how powerful they are, even at a low level, which I think is a really cool dynamic. As for how it played out versus how I thought when we started, I thought the reveal would go better, but that's the dice game. Sometimes stuff doesn't work out, but you roll into it with your character, and that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Is you could set something up, but if you're going to rely on the dice to set something up, you got to be ready for it to not work. And
Oh, don't I know
lean
that.
into it. Yeah, I mean, we've everybody's been there where you're like, I've got this great speech, and it was a nat 1. Oh, I've got this great idea, and I just got knocked unconscious.
Roll
So
first.
it happens.
That's why I always roll first.
Yeah, we're working on
Sometimes
it.
you can't roll first. So when I pulled out the Shadow Blade, I'm like, here we go. And I missed with it. There's
I do
you're
wanna
either going to
push
hit with a
back a
Shadow
little
Blade or
bit.
you're not.
I want to push back a little bit on the statement that I'm doing it better than you are. I think what is most impressive about how it has played out is that you have two very distinctly different people with similar origins who are reacting to what is happening around them in different ways. I think in the way that it worked out, definitely not the way I anticipated, because I didn't think that there would be another person doing the same thing. But I think seeing them both having to address where they came from and where they're going on their own terms in different ways is very realistic. It's a good exercise in showing that the same things can happen to the same people with the same kind of background and lead to two different kinds of people, right? Everybody's slightly different. So the ways that Kai has been adjusting to, his feelings of inadequacy, and how he's been relying on the rest of the party, versus Isken, who has, for the first time, kind of feels like there's something else that he might be good at, but not knowing how to embrace it and research it further, because despite the people around him being very knowledgeable in magic, they're very knowledgeable in magic that isn't his. And so you have one person who's kind of retreating into themselves because they feel like they can't help, and one person who's all but falling over themselves trying to help without any kind of guidance. And I think it's just very cool to see them both at the same time in the same party, both trying to find themselves. I think it's very interesting, and I would argue that you are not doing any better or worse than I am. I think we're both working very well in the party that we have with the story that we're in.
I did not want to interrupt any of that, but fucking Minmo is here.
Minmo!
Minmo!
Fucking Minmo!
Right at the end, we got a Minmo sighting on a Q&A. Let's go.
We have Minmo. Yeah, he came out to grab some
So now,
food, and then
now I need to ask this last question so that Minmo can answer, because they've joined us. They are officially part of the Q&A.
He's come and gone like an angel's kiss. He's already gone.
Oh my gosh.
Just the little Sonic the Hedgehog legs.
I love it. I'm going to debate. We'll see how long this one takes to answer, and we'll maybe end on this one. This is a group one. So potentially the last one of the night. This is from Ziger White. Question for everyone. What is your favorite official setting for D&D? Shout out to Eberron. Monty, how about you? What's your favorite setting in D&D?
Faerun. I think I've really come to like Faerun over time. I've run so much in it at this point, I kind of have to like it, honestly, at this point. I'm trying to think of, yeah, if we're talking like, I mean, I've also haven't had all of the experience with all the other places. I'm not a huge fan. I know you shouted out Eberron. I'm not a big steampunk person, so Eberron doesn't really do it for me. I really want to check out Dragonlance though. That's one I've really wanted to check out. Ravenloft's fun, but I like it, but it's not my favorite. I think it's okay. And then I'm trying to think of the other settings. Yeah, probably Faerun. I mean, it's the most bog standard, really, but I do like it, and I've grown to like it over a course of time.
How about you, Zan?
Can I answer this one last?
Sure. What about you,
I've got to
Mark?
go through the Rolodex real quick.
Yeah, go for it. Do you have one, Mark, or do you need a minute too?
Oh, yeah, no. What's that one that's like Ravenloft but in space?
Oh,
Spellhammer?
Fortnite.
What did you say, Bosco?
Fortnite.
Yeah, Fortnite. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
No, it's Spelljammer.
Yeah.
Monty, in case you missed it, the bit was I failed that question so hard.
It was
during-
so bad.
we
It
were
was
doing,
the worst part is you
Trivial Pursuit,
said
and it
out
is
loud, you're like, I don't
absolutely-
think it's Ravenloft. I'm like, oh my fucking god.
It's
But then you
absolutely- it
said
was my
Ravenloft.
first- Spelljammer was like my first setting that I played in. It is still my favorite setting, and I will never live down that I forgot what the fuck it was called. But yes,
Space
I
Vinloft.
love Spelljammer, and I want more opportunities to do Magic Space Swashbuckling. So hopefully I will have more opportunities in the future.
Can I just say, while Zan is going through his Rolodex, I kind of want to run something sci-fi at some point, even though it's
Let's go. Let's go. Mass Effect is working.
I mean, yeah. Hey, come on.
Yeah.
I have every now and again I get kind of like a space future like urge to write.
So
or
Monty, do you
something.
want to play maybe like a Mass Effect one-off?
I don't know about that. I kind of want to like
Mhm.
write
Mhm.
like a space thing, like a unique space universe thing. I think not
Do
really.
it.
Do it.
derive off of
Do it.
something, 'cause
Do it.
You one and
Do it and then invite all of us.
unequivocal support.
Do it. Invite all of us, and we're in.
It's just I would want the right approachable system for it. Like I don't think I would want to do 5e because that's just there's no point. I might as well try out a different system. I might have to poke you though, Zan, for that because
If
yeah.
only there were a multitude of systems set in sci-fi.
There are
universes.
so many, but I would want one that's like really
won't-
fucking
Also,
simple.
one that works well on like Roll20
Yeah.
or on like format.
Yeah, and there's a lot of other elements to it. I don't want to put hope in people's hearts because I can imagine the chat's just like, "Oh my god, let's go!" But like, it's
They
something
are
that
actually, yes.
It is something that I've wanted to do in the past, but I also like this is before even Mass Effect. But I really want to like I wanted to like after playing Mass Effect and just in general because I've done it in the past. I want to design some fucking aliens. Like, I'm
Hell
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
buddy.
Yes.
I want to design some aliens and some alien culture and alien planet. Because my biggest beef, and again, I've said this multiple times in Mass Effect, is I just hate the MacGuffinry of sci-fi and like the science technobabble. I fucking loathe that shit. But I do love the like kind of cowboy bebop space, like Guardians of the Galaxy being a ragtag
Hopping
group
planet
in
to
a
planet,
spaceship, hopping
yeah.
planet to planet, doing things.
We can all get
You like
behind
space
smooching
punk.
an alien.
You like
We
space
sure
punk.
can.
That's what it is.
I guess, yeah, space
Because
punk.
the sci-fi umbrella is so broad that it
Yeah.
covers so many different things, but space punk specifically is what you just described, which is fucking awesome. More space punk is always a good thing.
Yeah, I could see myself running something space punky in the future, honestly. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But I'd have to make up a bunch of stuff, so I would need a system that's really simple to kind of like supplement that, I guess. Because for me, I'm like, if I'm gonna do like a sci-fi thing, I'm like, I'm coming up with all my own like aliens that you can be. I want to come up with all like the big universe, I guess, like literally universe, I guess, and like all the different things. I'm like, I would want total creative control over it and not be beholden to an already pre-existing universe because I don't want to have to fucking do homework if I'm because
Yeah, fair enough.
it's already like
Yeah.
wanting to do something sci-fi. I'm like, the only way I'm gonna really enjoy it is if I get to make everything about it, because if I have to rely on other things, I'm immediately out. I don't want to have to do a bunch of sci-fi homework.
Mm-hmm. Fair. And scene. I will say for my favorite setting, as Zan continues to go through the Rolodex, I am also torn. I feel like Faerun might one day eventually win, but I think right now it is tied with Ravenloft for me. I really like the gothic horror that Ravenloft offers. I've had a lot of really good sessions as both a player and a DM in Ravenloft, so there's a lot of nostalgia for me, and I just enjoy that genre in general. but I do also really like Faerun, having been able to be exposed to it more. And I think as I play more in that setting, I will probably have it overtake Ravenloft, but we'll see. Ravenloft has a lot of nostalgia for me, and I fully admit that. For all of its flaws, I have a lot of history with the setting. And now,
Again,
Zan,
for
take
me,
us home.
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
Zan.
Sorry, Monty.
I was gonna say, just for me, like at the beginning, I did not give two shits about Faerun, but after playing in it, running it, and like really, like kind of, learning about it, I'm like, okay, I like it now. I especially like the feeling of being like, oh, I know that thing. You know what I mean?
Baldur's
So-
Gate.
Faerun,
Yeah.
So,
Faerun is responsible for so many people finding escapism for so many decades. It's hard not to respect it. And I definitely respect and love the hell out of Faerun. I will play in Faerun any day of the week. Give me that shit. I might be running a new Faerun game in the future. We'll see. I like Faerun a lot. However, my first ever setting that I had ever been in that was like the official canon setting was Greyhawk. That was my first ever
Greyhawk's
D&D.
legit.
Was Greyhawk.
Classic, yeah.
Like, I will have such a soft spot for Greyhawk because of that, like, forever. It's difficult not to put that at the top of my list. But in all reality, if I had to play or DM a official setting and I was given a blank check to just make it a long form story and go, it would probably be Sigil. That, for me personally.
Ooh.
I was
Which
not
one?
expecting that.
The City of Doors.
Oh.
Sigil.
Oh, Sigil. Oh shit.
Yeah. I'm
Wow,
now really
that-
curious to see
That came out of left field. I was not ready for
a
that
campaign
answer.
in that setting that you would run.
I adore it so much. It is very inspiring for me. I get like so much of my DNA as a role player, and especially for D&D, came from Greyhawk, yes, but also the Planescape stuff.
Yeah,
That's
I'd pay
sorry.
money
I'm
to see
now my brain is like the gears are turning. Interesting. Well,
I had to turn
folks,
down
we
so many settings.
are...
Sorry, just
We,
Dragonlance fans. I'm also a huge fan.
Aw.
In my heart,
Basically,
I know
Zan will-
there's probably like so many settings I haven't played in that I'm like, God, I wish I could just like know.
There are a lot of settings.
Zan
in
will run in
D&D
anything,
lore.
if we're being real.
It's really funny too when like you think about how many settings existed in second edition and third edition and 3.5 that like were not part of the zeitgeist when fifth edition started rolling out and are now starting to come back.
Slowly roll in. Yeah, it
Oh,
makes me very
yeah.
happy.
It's very cool to see because that was one of my biggest issues with fifth edition was how seemingly limited it was because of all those worlds that had existed already weren't there. So it's really cool to start seeing them come out and seeing new people discover the things that were like the classics in a new light and in a way that's accessible for everybody. It's just really, it's great to see.
Also, chat, talking about the Lady of Pain, that warms my heart. There were so many years of my life where no one had any idea what the hell Lady of Pain was. And now, the fact that it's commonly part of the zeitgeist makes me so happy.
You like blew a door open in my mind palace mentioning Sigil, so I'm just like swimming in there for a second, like, oh yeah, all this shit's here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but and people are saying that your Monday campaign, that Cold Rock, gives them a lot of Sigil vibes. So,
Oh,
and if you haven't
absolutely.
checked it out, check it out. Twitch.tv/ Xanilus Grim. Yeah. But
Damn.
that being said, we are way over time, so thank you for sticking with us, going extra late. We got to let these fine folks get out of here because they have stuff to do tomorrow, and so do I. So real quick, going around the horn, Monty Glue, where can they find you? What are you up to?
Oh goodness, you can find me at Monty Glue on Twitter. You can find me at twitch.tv/Monty Glue. Tomorrow, hopefully, will be some Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Hopefully, I'm a bit nervous. I have a vet appointment in the morning, and I'm hoping I can get some sleep. But yeah, Dungeon of the Mad Mage, and then Friday, unfortunately, there won't be a Final Fantasy because I will be hanging out with a friend. And then Monday is talking about sci-fi. Monday will be more Mass Effect. Excuse me. Oh my goodness.
Very nice. Zan, I just plugged you kind of, but do it again.
No, that's fine. You could find me on whatever Twitter's called at Zanny_Grim. There, if you want to catch some of the VODs of stuff we've done, you could find the links to that on YouTube there. You can also find me on Mondays at 7 p.m. PST, where I run aforementioned space sort of themed campaign with Monty and Ed here over on twitch.tv/ZanalisGrim. You can also find me on Tuesdays with Bosco and a few other friends going through Halo Reach Lasso on stream. Kind of a nightmare sometimes, but when we finish a level, damn does it feel good. And then Thursdays...
It's me, I'm the nightmare.
Thursdays, yeah, like Monty said, hopefully more Mad Mage. I'm a player over on Monty's channel. I play a ridiculously sad human fighter whose best friend is an adorable cat creature. Yeah, that's me.
Very nice. Mark, what are you up to? What are you doing?
On Twitter and Blue Sky at Mark Allen Jr., I'm regularly announcing new roles that I'm in, new directing projects that I'm doing, new music that I release, because I do that too. Here on Twitch at Aeon Protect Gaming, you can find me on Friday night, where I will be doing a 3-hour music challenge stream. I will spin a genre wheel and randomly be given a genre of music that I will then have 3 hours to produce. Hopefully this week we succeed. We failed last week, so I'm looking to get my my spirits back up with a success. And on Monday at 6 p.m. EST, 5 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Pacific, you can find me over on Dice Legends here on Twitch. That's DICELEGENZ, where I will be participating in the Gauntlet. An all-wizard party will attempt to defeat this ancient evil and dungeon within a 3-hour time span. 3 seems to be the magic number. Or the whole world will be destroyed. So join me over on Dice Legends on Monday. I'm very excited. I have a fun character that I'm really stoked to be able to dip my my toes into. I don't want to dip my toes in the character. That sounds weird. But just come on by. It's going to be fun.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
What just happened? Yeah, I can't really talk. I can't form words and haven't for most of this stream. You can also find me at twitch.tv/EdwardBosco and at EdBoscoVA on both Instagram and Twitter, and now TikTok. I did a thing. I'm sorry. Kind of. You should check it out. That's all I'm going to say. We're going to get you guys out of here. Now, I can't raid anybody, Monty, but if you would be so kind and...
I don't have the laptop set up right now.
No. All right, well, guys,
terrain.
I need your help. We can't raid, but I need you to all go to Arcalf because he's playing Guild Wars right now. The boyfriend is on and we must attack him.
Why is he playing Guild Wars?
I don't
Why
know.
isn't
Guild
he
Wars
playing
2.
Guild Wars, Monty?
Oh, that's interesting. We talked about it a while ago. He showed me all his mounts and stuff.
Yeah.
They did just have a new drop, a new DLC thing. Not
Oh,
DLC,
did they?
But something. Yeah, earlier this week or late last week, something new dropped.
Oh, shit. Oh, apparently he's playing a new character, so that's cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so they just dropped the link in there, twitch.tv/Arcalf. We do need a raid message for the unofficial raid. Anybody got a good idea?
Cute nerd.
Cute nerd. I like it. Compliments of Monty. Well, that's all the time we got, folks. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week, hopefully with more Unexpectables, barring any unforeseen circumstances. I'm excited to play. We hope you'll join us. We'll see you next time. Also, don't forget the art stream is coming up, I believe, September the 1st. Yes, a Friday. So exactly a week and 2 days from today. So yeah, about a little over a week. Get your stuff in, and you'll maybe see some of us on Friday as well. We'll catch you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.